Hey, what's going on, y'all? All right, it does look okay over there. Cool, cool. What's going on, everyone? Thank you, VJ. I appreciate that. What's going on, Mystic, Whiskey, VJ, Luca, Don, Beautiful? I'm the problem. How's everybody doing? Sorry, I'm playing around with a few settings. YouTube decided to um, uh, play with everything, make different settings, change stuff, make things difficult for me. I don't like change. I gotta figure out. I don't like change. Okay. They had to make things difficult for me. Hopefully, everything on the portrait live looks okay. They have gone and switched up things on me and confused me. I think so. As you guys know, like especially on the YouTube side, I run two different lives. I run one, um, one vertically, one horizontally, and they decided that they were going to make that where you could do it where it does it on its own, and now I don't know how anything looks. So I see that you're saying that it looks good. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing if people can actually see it or not. So I guess we'll find that out in a second. We'll find out how it builds. But awesome. Welcome in, everyone. Denzel, thank you so much for asking about my mental health. My mental health is better today. Okay. It was not great yesterday, which is why I needed to take a last second day off. So I needed a last second day off yesterday. Um, yeah, had a rough day yesterday. So, but today is better. And tomorrow will be better. And tomorrow, the day after that, will be better. And it will get better and better and better and better and better. And that's because that's how things work. Right? So, it was a quick day off, but we're back to normal. We're back to doing things the way we do them over here. Right? So, we're just going to keep things moving. Really appreciate you. Come on in, everybody. We're just getting this thing started. We're just getting this thing started, getting this thing moving. I'm not sure if I need to do it. Oh, I can't change it now. Interesting. What happened yesterday is that an old puppy that lives with my daughter that was 15 years old, we had to put down yesterday. That's what happened yesterday. So, that I'd had her for, we got her about 10 years ago, and she still lived with my daughter. She didn't live with me anymore. Summer's the only one that's here. But she lived with my daughter still, and it was a rough day, But again, she was 15. She lived a very long life for a pup, And but it was she was suffering, and it was time to go. But it didn't help me feel any better. I still had a rough day. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of whether it was she's no longer suffering, whether it was the right thing. None of that changes that I still had a really rough day and had a hard time dealing with it. And so I needed the day off. Ari was nice enough to take the day off also. So sorry I stole her from y'all yesterday too, if you guys are watching her live. So yeah, that's why my day was rough yesterday. That's why I had to cancel the live so I could deal with my own stuff yesterday. And that's why we're back today. And that's why we're back today. So I hope everybody understands why I took the day off. I hope everybody can clearly understand why I needed the day off, huh? So, I don't owe you guys anything kind of explanation. I'm letting you guys know. Okay, remember, I am a human being. Okay, just like everyone else who has bad days and has rough things that they have to go through like that, And so when those things happen, I'll come and tell you guys about it. As long as it's something I can tell you guys about, I'll tell you about it. That's why I missed yesterday, and that's why we're back today. Okay, because it is always hard losing one of our pups. Period. End dot. So now you guys know. I know, right? I am human. I know, it's crazy. I know some of y'all that were in my landscape live on what was it on Sunday? Got to see how human I am. Cause my software glitched out, which I need to update my software. I forgot to do it today. And I clicked stop stream, and the stream didn't stop. And I came back to my computer after figuring that out, and still tried to stop the stream, and it still didn't end. It's crazy. So, yes, my software has been a little messed up. So some of y'all got to see just how human I am. It's fine. I didn't even cut the stream out. I left it. It's still up in there. So it's funny. Yep. But I came back and I realized my software was still all messed up. So, why did it just get so dark in there? Oh, readjust camera. There we go. All right, we're just getting this thing going, y'all. We're just getting this thing going. We're about to start taking some callers, start having some fun. I'm waiting to make sure that this live over here is actually working correctly. Because again, one of my lives on here is they decided to do some extra stuff with the streaming say. So I'm trying to make sure it's loading correctly and everything is going well in it, because I can't switch it. But we'll see in a bit. If not, I'll have to shut that down and redo it again, and it'll suck. But thank you guys so much for being here. As you guys are coming in, as always, please come on in, say something in the chat. It's insane. Say hi to everybody. You know, do your thing over there. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. I'm just trying to make sure that this live is getting pushed out to the people because I'm not sure that it is. CJ, thank you so much for the $20 super chat starting out the live. Says, sorry for your loss. Have a drink on me. I will take that retroactively because I had a whole bunch of them yesterday. That is what I was doing when I was not here. Was having a whole bunch of them. All right. I that was actually what I made sure that I didn't like get on live or whatever. So like, because I came home and I was like, oh, this is the day. This is the day. CJ, thank you so much. Big dubs in the chat for CJ for that awesome $20 super chat. I really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. We're going to open up the phone lines. We're going to open up the guest request box. I want to get into this. All right. I want to get this thing going. Again, CJ, thank you so much. I want to get into this. So let's see if we can get this thing started. Then I can find out if this thing is actually being pushed out or not. I can't do it just, sitting around. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Rakeem. I'm really sorry to hear that. Hopefully things are better. Y'all, if you support Trump and you guys would like to come in the live and hang out and have a conversation with me, multiple ways you can do it, through the guest request box and the one that allows that. Also, phone lines are open. Must be 18 or older, of course. But besides that, welcome in and thank you so much. All right. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. AC Rhodes, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Says, was a conservative. Glad you keep me informed. Even if you are still a conservative, I'm glad to help keep people informed. I always think that's important. I think information is good for everybody. Conservatives, liberals, whatever the hell I am. All that stuff. Hello, how are you?
I'm good.
Awesome. How old are you?
I'm 23.
How old?
23.
23?
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you support Trump?
No, could I just have like 3 seconds or something? I'm a supporter of yours.
Go on.
Okay. Whenever you feel like, can you please explain to the Trumpers how it's like the Republicans' fault about the shutdown? Because I'll keep arguing with these motherfuckers and they keep saying it's the Democrats. And it's like, I don't know, maybe you can get through to them because they don't listen to me.
Actually, you know what? I will answer that question.
Thank you. And I'm sorry for your loss.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay.
You're welcome. Have a nice night.
You too. You know what? I actually will discuss this real quick before I move on to a Trump supporter, because I think this is actually really important to talk about. Whose fault is it that the government is shut down? Any answers from the crowd? Any answers? See, I'm seeing a lot of Republicans in here. I'm seeing both parties. I'm seeing GOP. I'm seeing Trump. I'm going to give you an answer you might not like very much. I'm going to give an answer you guys probably won't like very much. And I'm going to ask you guys a question, and then the way you answer this question will decide who it's on, right? The Democrats are saying that they are stopping this because of the removal of subsidies from the ACA, and that's why they're stopping it. So if the Democrats are saying they're doing it because they want the ACA subsidies down, then they're saying that they're doing it. You don't get it both ways, right? You don't get it both ways. You don't get to say we're doing it because of this and also they did it. The Democrats are taking a stand, okay, against horrific government Republican policies that are going to rip healthcare away from Americans. But in order to say we are taking a stand, we have to say we're the ones taking the stand. We can't say we're the ones taking the stand and they're the ones who shut down the government. That doesn't make any sense. Messaging. It's all about messaging. Okay? It's all about messaging. Okay? It's okay to say the Democrats have shut this down because they are standing up for what's right. It's okay to say that. Okay? What doesn't make any sense is to say we're doing this for your protection and also we're not doing this. If someone would like to explain to me how the Democrats are standing up for something on this and also not the ones shutting down the government, I would love to hear it. It's for a good reason. It's okay. It's okay. Y'all can be mad at me if you want. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all. Now, is it a problem that the Republicans won't negotiate? Yes. Is it a problem that the Republicans are taking away healthcare? Yes. Is that a problem? Yes. Should they be doing it? Yes. Would we be in this position if it wasn't for Republicans? Absolutely not. Okay. So it's definitely both parties' fault. Okay. But if the Democrats are going to say they're standing on business, then you have to say they're standing on business. If the Democrats are saying they're doing it because they're standing on business, then they have to be able to admit they're standing on business. Period. Okay. I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a deal to say it. I don't think it's that big of a problem, and I don't understand why Democrats are so upset, so afraid to say it. I really don't. I don't understand why the Democrats are so afraid to just say, we shut this down because they're trying to take away your health care and we're not going to let them do it. I don't see a problem with that. I just don't. Some have been saying it. Sorry, someone just said that, Becky. Yeah, some have been saying it. Okay. But that's the problem is you have some people saying that we shut this thing down for healthcare and the other people saying, oh, it's the Republicans' fault. You don't get it both ways. You don't get it both ways. You don't get it both ways. Sorry. You don't get it both ways. Okay? And to say, hey, we're trying to do this for your healthcare and the Republicans won't even come to the table on it, I think that's a pretty good message for once. For once, I think that's actually a good Democrat message. Anyways, phone lines are back up and we're going to keep this thing going. But for once, I actually think that's an actual good message. Maybe the Democrats should actually stand on freaking game for once. Maybe they should actually stand up for what's right. Someone said the Republicans wrote that terrible bill. You mean that terrible bill that Chuck Schumer got the Democrats to sign off on in March? You mean that terrible bill? The terrible bill in March that Chuck Schumer got the Democrats to sign off on. That bill? Just out of curiosity. Hello, how are you?
Hello?
What?
What the fuck?
Anyways, that you mean that horrible bill that took away all of these subsidies that all of the Democrats told them not to sign off on, that Chuck Schumer convinced the Senate Democrats to sign off on? That one? The Democrats' biggest problem is messaging. The Democrats' biggest problem has always been messaging. Okay. And until Democrats fix their message, they're fucked. Until the Democrats fix their messaging, they're fucked. Just straight up. Hello, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm great. How old are you?
39.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. So what's up?
Well, this is all my personal opinion. I have resentment for the left.
I don't care about that. I asked you why you still support Trump.
Well, I like what Trump's doing. He sealed the border. He's declared Antifa a T group.
He can't do that, actually.
He hit Iran, which was the right decision. He's
yeah, I like how you're ignoring that. No, he didn't.
Go ahead.
The president doesn't have the authority to declare a domestic group a terrorist organization. Also, Antifa's not a group.
Sedition. It's sedition.
Sedition is not domestic terrorism.
They're anarchists.
Anarchy is also not domestic terrorism. Yeah. You can call them all of those things, but it doesn't change that the president doesn't have the ability to designate a domestic group, a terrorist group. Okay. And second of all, Antifa's not a group.
Well, we saw they were very active in the summer of 2020, weren't they?
They're not a group.
Were they active?
Is MAGA a group?
Could you just answer me that? Were they active in the summer of 2020?
Who? A non-group was active? How can a non-group be active?
They're anarchists. They're
Sir, you do realize the entire point of anarchists would be not to have a group, right?
Okay, what's going on in Portland right now?
The president is picking his biggest fight with a bunch of hippies. Now, would you like to answer my question? Is MAGA a group?
Yeah, you could say MAGA's a group. Sure.
Oh, really? What's the structure of that group?
Well, President Trump's the leader, and MAGA is a reaction to all this woke DEI nonsense. That's another thing I like.
Oh, so it's a reaction. It's not a group. So you mean it's like a movement?
No, it's a group. Yeah, sure.
No. In order to be a group, there has to be a structure. So, like, how do I join MAGA?
There's a structure.
How do I join MAGA?
Well, it's Republicans.
Well, no, there's MAGA people that aren't Republicans, and not all Republicans are MAGA. So how do I join MAGA?
But President Trump is the leader of MAGA. Am I wrong on that?
I don't know. You're describing it to me. I'm asking how I join.
Well, become a Republican.
But I can become a Republican and not be MAGA. I just said that.
Well, you could say. I mean, it's all under the same umbrella.
No, it's not under the same umbrella. There's tons of Republicans, sir. If I can be a Republican without being MAGA, then me joining the Republican Party isn't me becoming MAGA. So how do I join MAGA?
I told you, become a Republican.
Okay, but if I become a Republican and then start Republicans against Trump, I'm MAGA.
Are any Democrats MAGA?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Who?
There's entire groups dedicated to that. What are you talking about? There's entire like Facebook groups and frickin' and followings and frickin' they have meetings and shit of people that are Democrats that are MAGA. Yeah, I've talked to them. I talk to them probably like 5-6 times a week.
That's news to me, man.
Oh,
It really is.
And look, again, there's Democrats that are MAGA and there are Republicans that are not MAGA. So how do I join MAGA?
How do you join? I told you become a Republican.
Oh my God, it's like talking to like a wall, huh?
Well,
like there's just that like you're like, dude, I'm just asking you, sir, listen. No. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear anything. Okay, listen to me. Okay, listen to me.
Go ahead.
If I can be a Republican without being MAGA, then joining the Republican Party does not make me MAGA.
Okay, but MAGA is right, isn't it?
Are there people that are MAGA that are independents?
MAGA right? Just answer me that. I've answered all.
No, they're wrong.
Okay, MAGA is not on the right? Is that
yeah,
what you're telling
sure. So are neo-Nazis. Are neo-Nazis
okay.
MAGA? So are libertarians. Libertarians are also on the right. Are libertarians MAGA? There are independents that are on the right. Are independents MAGA?
Well, why don't we define what's your definition?
That's
of
what I'm
MAGA?
asking you to do, sir. That's
Okay,
the
well-
entire point of this entire exercise is that, okay? And what I'm trying to show you, okay, which you're just missing completely, is that MAGA is not a group. Okay? You can't join MAGA, okay? MAGA is a political ideology. All
Yeah,
right?
No, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how Antifa is, okay? Antifa is not a group.
they
Antifa
funded?
is a political ideology. And
How are they funded?
huh?
How are they funded?
They're not,
Nobody funds Nobody
Nope.
funds Antifa.
because it's not a group.
Really? Are you sure?
Yes.
No connection to George Soros at all?
No.
None?
Zero. Literally
Is that
zero. Literally zero. Like literally, I have a closer connection to George Soros. And I've never met the guy.
We just
Sir, he's
live on
doing
this
great.
fucking planet. You know, look here. Why don't we try this?
All right.
okay?
Yeah, how about we try this? Let's say I want to fund Antifa. Okay. Where do I send the check?
Well, I'm sure we could look it up online. We can
Yeah, let's
find
do that.
out.
Why don't you look it up online? Tell me where I can send the check. I would love to send a nice, like, I don't know, like, you know, next like $1,000. I think I'll just send it to Antifa, right? Sign the check out. I'll just go like to so-and-so, leader of Antifa, to, you know, to do Antifa things, you know? And I just
Okay.
want to like, where can I find that address?
Are people part of you're saying Antifa is a political ideology? Is that what
It's
you're
a political movement.
political movement? Okay, there are people who are members of it? Or
Nope. There's no membership. There's no membership card.
Okay,
You don't
so
get a
who-
t-shirt. There's
Well,
no
okay,
membership
wait-
number,
wait a
nothing.
minute. Well, let me ask you this question, okay? I think they were active in the summer of 2020 when the left was imposing totalitarian lockdowns, but we see this now at the ICE facilities in Portland, do we not?
No.
Isn't that Antifa?
Do you know when actually Antifa was the most active?
Who is out protesting and causing all kinds of trouble? in
Real
Portland right now?
Americans.
Huh?
Real Americans that don't like watching people freaking get, you know, locked up, thrown on the ground, punched in the face, freaking thrown in the back of vans by masked agents, ripped away from their families and deported to countries that aren't theirs, or terrorism prisons.
Okay, so you're trying to tell me Antifa doesn't exist.
I'm not telling you Antifa doesn't exist. I'm telling you it's not a group. Okay? There are no meetings. There's no WhatsApp chat where a bunch of people are going like, hey, Antifa meeting, get together with this people. There's no place to send a check for George Soros to fund them. Okay? Antifa was created after World War II. Do you know why Antifa was created after World War II? The ideology of Antifa?
World War II?
World War II, yes.
Well, so the Yahtzees were fast.
Correct. And what does Antifa stand for?
Anti-fascist.
There you
But
go. So if you believe
Well-
that you are anti-fascist, then guess what? You're part of Antifa. You did it. Are you anti-fascist or are you for fascism?
You know that you are misrepresenting.
I am not misrepresenting, sir.
Yeah, you
Unfortunately,
absolutely-
it has been so misrepresented by Fox News and other right-wing organizations that you don't even realize that I'm not misrepresenting it whatsoever. Okay? You could literally just say, I'm anti-fascist and I'm Antifa right now. You could say it on this live, and congratulations, you're in the exact same person. You could be Antifa. Congratulations. Because again, there's no leadership, there's no membership number, you don't get a card, you don't get a t-shirt, you don't get anything, okay? It is just the belief in actively being anti-fascist.
I completely disagree with you.
This is
But,
not up for agreement or disagreement. I'm telling you the facts. You can either choose to ignore the facts, which is what you're doing, okay? Or you can choose to believe the facts, which is what's going on, okay? Because they are the actual facts. This isn't like this isn't up for the debate. This isn't like, do you like vanilla or chocolate ice cream, okay? This is what Antifa is. I'm letting you know, okay? And you can choose to do with that information what you want.
All right, look, can we pivot off this? We just disagree.
Sir, there is no disagreement.
No,
Okay.
there is disagreement.
All right. So like I have a piece of toilet paper in my hand, okay?
Mhm,
Right? And I'm putting it up on the screen so everyone can see it, okay? This piece of toilet paper is white. Okay?
Okay. Yep.
It is white. I'm telling you that it's white. You can agree and to disagree if you like. Okay? You can say you have a difference of opinion on whether it's white or not. All right? That's totally fine. You can totally do that. Okay? It doesn't change the color that it actually is. Okay?
Right.
Your disagreement with this fact does not change the fact. Okay?
Well, here, wait. While you mention that, let me ask you this:
Sure.
Is race a social construct?
Of course it is.
No, it isn't.
How is it not?
It's a biological reality.
It's a biological reality. And how is it a biological reality?
Well, if I submit a test to 23andMe
Mhm.
or Ancestry.com, they're going to tell me where I come from.
Yeah, and where are they gonna? Yeah, they're gonna tell you where they're. Okay, so I'm half black, half white. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So if I submit one of those DNA tests, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna tell me I'm from black.
Well, it would probably tell you you have African ancestry.
Oh,
maybe.
but that's not race. I'm asking how it's gonna tell my race because African ancestry would be my ethnicity. So
you're telling me ancestry has nothing to do with race?
Ancestry can have something to do with race, but it's not
How?
race, huh? Because
How?
countries where you come from that come close to the equator tend to have darker skin, and in the United States, we have created a system where people with darker skin are considered black. Okay, but that is a completely subjective thing. I can be from Jamaica and be considered black. I could be from an African nation and be considered black. I could come from some parts of the Middle East where it's darker and be considered black.
Africa, right?
Okay, that's why your DNA can't tell you whether you're black. You can actually come from those countries and also be white. All right. Just like people who have lots of lineage in different parts of Africa are white, or Northern Africa, which tend to be more brown, or more, Eastern Africa, which would tend to look more Middle Eastern, right? They're all from Africa. It can't tell you that.
Okay, so are Japanese and South Koreans and North Koreans and Taiwan and people from China, are they Asian?
Yes.
Okay, so Asian is a race?
Nope.
Asian's not a race.
Nope. Because you know why? You know why it's not a race?
Why is that?
Because I can point to Asia on a map. So therefore it's ethnicity. Okay? If I can tell you where you're from, okay? Like I'll give you an example, right? Like I'm half black, half white. All right.
What's the white? What is it?
Yeah, the white is Irish. Okay? My heritage is Irish, okay? So Irish is my ethnicity. Okay? That is part of my ethnicity. White would be the race. But in this country, if you're half white, half black, you are considered black. So my race is still black, even though I have ethnically, I have white ancestry. But if I go to a form, I am still black. I am still black in this country.
Well, you're a mulatto. You're mixed, right?
Yeah, mulatto is not a thing, and also super racist. Okay, that's not a thing, and it's not a race. Okay, I'm sorry. Have you ever seen on like a form, like ever, where it says race and it says black, white, mulatto?
No, I didn't know mulatto was racist. Why is that racist?
Because I'm not a fucking pug, dude.
Well, but all that is you have a mix of African and
How do you know I'm African?
Well, because you said you were half black.
So what? What does that have to do with anything? Can I be from? What if it was Jamaican?
Well, don't black people come from Africa?
Not always.
Well, but the people in Jamaica came from Africa, right?
Well, some of them.
Who did?
I could be black and be, from India. I can be black and be actually like some Native American. It is completely and 100% based on my skin tone. Okay? That is what I am saying. It does not matter what my ancestry is. If my skin tone shows that I am dark, then I am black. Okay? Just like the entire argument with Kamala Harris where they said, oh, she's not black, she's Indian. No, you can be both. Okay? You can be black and Indian. All right, because your race is based off your skin tone. Indian is based off of your ethnicity. Those are two different things. Okay? There are black people in Malaysia. There's black people from Australia, right? Like Aboriginal tribes from Australia, actually original people from there would be considered black.
Right. Okay, well, see, this is where I think the disagreement is that I think race is a biological reality and you don't. And look,
Right.
this
And
is
again, sir, again, I understand that you believe that,
I
but then
do.
we go back to the toilet paper thing about like reality versus what you believe. Okay.
Mm,
And normally I have the hardest time dealing with this race thing with people who haven't really been outside the United States. All
well,
right.
let me
Because
try this.
our construct of race doesn't really exist most places
Ah,
in the world.
you know where construct, you know where that comes from? That's postmodernism. That's Derrida. This is part of the reason why you're crazy. Look, postmodernism and the
The
Frankfurt
word
School,
construct is
postmodernism. Let me just say this, okay?
the
Let
word.
me talk.
Sir, you
Let me
do
talk for
realize in
20
most
seconds.
countries on the planet, they don't have our understanding of race, right?
Can you just let me talk for 30 seconds and I'll let you go? Can we do that?
Oh, you're going to let me go. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Will you go and you tell me when I can go? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Apparently, you have something so important to say.
Okay, postmodernism and the Frankfurt School and Hollywood and MTV has made the left crazy. And I know it's ironic I support Israel. Okay? What the left believes is that Western civilization is an authoritarian patriarchy. There's engineered whiteness out of G-side, colonialism, slavery, and imperialism. But here's the problem. All kinds of other cultures throughout history, such as the Aztecs, the Moors, Genghis Khan, the Persian Empire, the Ottoman Empire, Imperial Japan, have done very similar things. And there are approximately 25 million slaves in the world today, and they're primarily located in India and China and Africa. But the left doesn't care. And why don't they care? Because the villainization of whiteness is the opiate of the left. And we see this in Gaza.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop you. Okay.
Go
None of
ahead.
what you said has fuck all to do with what we're talking about. First of all. Second of all, at no point during my conversation did I talk about white people or the villainization of white people whatsoever. Third of all, this entire conversation was brought up by you, not by me. You're the one who stopped our very non-productive conversation about the last thing to ask me if race was a social construct. So you, as a white person, okay, was the person that brought up race, not me. You, the white person on the right, okay, is the person that brought up this entire conversation. So please explain to me how I am doing a villainization of the white and I am the one freaking hating against white people when you're the person that brought it up.
The summer of 2020.
No, this conversation.
Okay, you just interrupted me.
Yes, because you're not answering the question. I don't give a fuck about the summer of 2020. I am asking you in this conversation, how if you're the one who brought up race and you're the one who brought up whether it's a social construct, is the left villainizing white people?
What's the average IQ of sub-Saharan Africa?
What's the average IQ of the other person in this conversation besides me that can't answer a direct question?
Well, no, here, let me just
No, I am not interested in anything you have to say except for you explaining to me, how the left is doing this when you're the one who brought it up. It's a very simple question. It's not a trick question or anything. Okay? Okay. You said the left is doing this thing with race. The left is villainizing white people. But in this conversation, you brought up race. You brought up race being a social construct. I did not. And now you're the one saying that I'm wrong and I'm villainizing on the left, even though you're the one who brought it up. So how am I the one villainizing if you're the one brought it up?
You don't think the left villainizes white people?
All right, this guy obviously doesn't have a fucking clue how to have this conversation, whatever. So I'm going to go back to what I was saying when you cut me off to say a whole bunch of gibberish. What I was saying, nope. You had your chance to talk. I asked you 4 times. You chose not to. Now it is time to be quiet.
Go ahead.
All right, cool. What I was saying was in the majority of the countries across the world, they do not have the same idea and the same construct of race that we have, okay? If I go to Europe, I am American. I am not black, okay? They have a completely different understanding of race. And you're right, there has been different racial constructs throughout our history, all right? But this idea of race in which we live in was created within the United States, and the United States is pretty much, or at least the major company or country that actually deals within this construct of race. If it was a biological thing, okay, if it was a genetic phenotype, okay, that created our race, then every country would understand race equally, and they don't. They understand race in a completely different manner because they have constructed their idea of race around culture. All right, so I'll ask you this question. If it is a biological thing, then how come not every single country that practices biology and modern medicine doesn't believe the same things about race?
Because this is postmodernism. This is the Frankfurt School. Postmodernism believes that there is no objective reality. There is no absolute truth. There are infinite interpretations. But really, the core of postmodernism is power. All right. I'm just going to ask this again. Look, you're smart. You're smart.
You did a great job of not answering my question in the slightest. I do really appreciate your ability to avoid answering any direct questions. You and Pam Bondi should get together after watching her Senate hearing today. Not answering direct questions must be like a MAGA superpower. Okay, that you guys just have the ability to hear a direct question and to just ignore it for something completely different. Okay, it's like you. Here's what it feels like. Here's what it feels like. Okay, it feels like, okay, you said is race is a social construct, and your entire idea behind it is, I can't wait to say postmodernism in this. Okay. But see, I didn't ask you about postmodernism. Okay. I asked you the differentiation between the idea of race between multiple countries that all understand. I'll give you an example. In the United States, okay, because of biology, we can understand that eye color is genetic, right? That we can transfer that from parents down to children, eye color and hair color. In Italy,
blue eye from Europe.
Yeah, in Italy, they also understand that same thing because that's biology. Okay, in Germany, they also understand that exact thing because that's biology. In Japan, they also understand that same thing because that's biology. In China, they all understand that the same thing because it's biology. Because biology is science and is backed by evidence and facts over long periods of data collection, okay? But in Italy, they understand my race to be different than they do in Japan, as they do in Germany, as they do in South Africa. All of those places understand my race differently. So if it is genetic, if it is biology, then how come all of these different countries understand race differently?
Well,
and if you say postmodernism, I'm hanging up the phone.
Okay, so because okay, so I'm not black or Asian, right? Right? Are you still there? Hello?
Just waiting for my answer.
Why do different countries see race differently?
If it's biological, yes.
Well, because the left is crazy. That's why.
Gotcha. So Japan sees race differently because the American left. Gotcha. All right. I was real curious. I was very confused on how this was going to work. I was really wondering where you were going to go with that. Guys, if you're in the United States and you're on the left, you're the reason why Japan sees race differently, okay, than Italy. All right? Just thought I'd let you guys know. This is your fault. All right? All of you damn leftists, and you're forcing Japan to see culturally how race is.
Let me know when I can talk.
I wish never, but I guess now.
Okay. The average IQ of American black people is 85. In sub-Saharan Africa, it fluctuates between the high 50s and low 70s, right? The average IQ of South Korea is about 104. All right? What causes that? What causes that? Are you there? Hello? Hello? Are you there?
Yeah, let me ask you a question. When Trump says smart people don't like me, did you take that
Answer
personal?
my question. Could you answer my
Did you
question?
take that
What
personal,
caused-
or did you just like shrug that off?
what? Okay. What you would you answer my question? But what is your question?
I'm not engaging with your incredibly fucking xenophobic, fucking racist ass fucking question.
Oh, is
If
it
you have
true?
if you have
Is it
something to say,
true?
sir, if you have
it
something to
true?
say, sir, if you have
Is
something
it
to say,
true?
shut
Is it yes
up.
or no? Is it
Be
true?
quiet. Time to be quiet, little guy.
No, fuck you. What caused?
Aw, did he hurt his little feelings? If
can
you
tell
have
me
something
what-
to say, then go ahead and fucking say
I
it.
said
But if
it.
you think I'm
What's your
engaging
answer?
with your little fucking question, I'm not.
What is your answer? Hello? 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 Hello, are you there? Hello? 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 Is anyone there? Hello? Well, I'm going to hang up now. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hi. All right, cool. He hung up on his own. I didn't have to do anything. Y'all, make sure you hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Woo! Man. If I heard that guy say postmodernism one more time, I was going to actually scream. I think I was going to actually scream if he said postmodernism one more fucking time. Holy shit. Anyways, hope you all are having a wonderful day. William, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Said, I'm a conservative and thank you for keeping me informed. I really appreciate that, William. See, there are some conservatives that are very smart people. And then there's that guy. Thank you so much, William. Crimson said, do you want illegals to get free shit? They don't. So, I mean, honestly, I kind of wish they would get more. But no, they don't get any. And Alberto, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Says, you are my hero, Paulie for Presidente. Thank you so much. Big W's in the chat for William and Alberto. I really appreciate you all. Thank you so much. We're about to move on to the next caller. Robert, his postmodernism is circular reasoning. Yeah, I don't think he actually knows what postmodernism is. I think he just heard that on a podcast someplace and just decided he was going to repeat it 47 times on my live. I'm pretty sure that's what that was. Y'all, I'm going to move on to the next caller, y'all. If y'all would like to support the live, I do have super chats open. I like to talk about those in between callers, so I really appreciate that. Also, please consider becoming a member or helping me clear out my live gift goal. Those are also great ways to support. I also have my pay links in my bio, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. They're all at Polypolitics, just like my name. So I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Hello, how are you?
Hello. I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing well. How old are you?
I am 26.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
I do.
Okay. What's on your mind?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that I do not speak for that last caller. That guy was not intelligent in the slightest. I don't understand what he was saying, and it was complete nonsense.
I don't need to defend him, dude. I talk to 3 of him a night. What's on your mind?
Sorry. Well, basically, I just support. Let's see. Sorry about that. Just a bit nervous. I do support what he's doing economically and how he's moving forward, trying to lower prices and everything like that. I also support his stances on certain things, such as abortion. What are your thoughts on that?
So you really appreciate him raising your prices, raising the unemployment rate, and losing jobs?
I don't believe he's raising the unemployment rate at all.
He is. We have the highest unemployment rate right now that we've had in 4 years since the shutdown of COVID.
That's not true.
That is true, and it was reported by Donald Trump's administration. So I don't know why we're arguing this. Like, Donald Trump's administration was the one that sent those numbers out.
Okay. see, here's my view on the matter. The unemployment rate has been inflated. The increase in, or the last 4 years, we have seen a drastic increase in, illegal immigration. And that, because of that, the unemployment rate that has officially dropped, but the homelessness in veterans and everything has run rampant. And
Donald Trump literally just cut funding for Veterans Administration and funding for homeless veterans and healthcare for homeless veterans. And he is literally in the current stance of freaking keeping the government shut down, okay, and not negotiating with Democrats at all, which is actually keeping federal workers away from being able to actually help veterans. And he's saying he's not even going to pay them back, even though 1 in 3 veterans, or 1 in 3 people that work for the federal government are actually veterans. And now he just came out today and said that there's a possibility he doesn't even pay back pay for all his furloughed federal workers. And he's talking about firing them now. So can you please explain to me how not paying and firing a bunch of veterans is going to help our homeless veteran problem?
That honestly, I can't. I agree. I don't understand that. I don't think that would help the problem at all.
Okay, well, that's what he's doing. Okay. And the whole reason that he's doing it is so that because he doesn't want Democrats to allow Americans to have health care. So, seems kind of crazy to say that. Oh,
sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
I do believe he's also trying to eliminate things like Obamacare and things like that.
And why would that be a good thing?
It's destroying the middle class.
You think Obamacare is destroying the middle class?
Absolutely.
Please explain to me how subsidies that go in to freaking help a specifically middle class people get more affordable health care is destroying the middle class.
Because Obamacare is not for the middle class, it's for the lower class. And the middle class it increases the taxation on the middle class, effectively destroying it.
The only reason it increases the tax on the middle class is because we're under Donald Trump's tax plan, which literally freaking is the one that drains that freaking reduces the amount of tax funding from corporations and the rich people, which puts the larger tax burden on the middle class. It should be funded by taxpayers' taxes from corporations and from upper class people, which should actually subsidize things like that in the middle class. But the middle class is actually taking the brunt of taxes right now because the upper class is getting huge tax relief from the Trump administration. And these exact subsidies are specifically targeted at people that make, I believe it's $60,000 or less, and $60,000 is considered, I believe, middle class still in this country, or just over. I think like 64 it would actually be the median household income.
Potentially, I'm not 100% sure on the exact ranges of household income and what class it defines you at. So I'll take your word on that. Absolutely.
Yeah. So this is not a destruction of the middle class. And even if, let's just say, and let's just say Donald Trump wanted to replace the ACA with something different. Okay. I'll listen. Let's see what he's got. You know what he's got so far? Not a goddamn thing. He hasn't come up with a single plan, a single concept of a plan, a single plan of a plan of a plan to try to replace the ACA with anything. His entire thing is rip the subsidies away. Okay. That way, the average person on the ACA in the United States, and let me be very clear also, that even if you're not on the, well, hold on, I'm getting the cart ahead of the horse for a second. Rip the subsidies away so people on average across the United States are going to see 114% rise in healthcare costs. And the reason that is because even though those subsidies go to people that are less than 60,000, right? When those people lose the ability to have health care, all right, they end up going to emergency rooms for reactive care, which is more expensive, all right? Which means that hospitals get charged for that, which means taxpayers have to pay that, and then health insurance premiums for everybody else goes up anyway to have to cover those costs, all right? So regardless of even if it was a lower class thing, like for under 60,000, even the people that are not on that, like within that healthcare frame, are still going to end up paying higher healthcare premiums across the board. And why is he doing this? He is ripping those healthcare costs away so that he can give another 8% tax cut to corporations so that Amazon doesn't have to pay as much.
Okay. Just out of curiosity's sake, what do you? I know you're not like, I don't know exactly what you do, but I'm sure you're not like detailed economics. But if you have an idea, what would your suggestion be if you have one? Just out of curiosity's sake.
Yeah, the exact opposite of what Donald Trump is doing. The exact policies that have been proven to work over the last fucking forever in the United States. Anytime we've actually had a good economy, it's worked the exact same way. We raise the corporate tax rate to a logical spot in which corporations are paying their fair share, which then subsidizes the middle and lower classes in order to put more money in their pockets so that they have money to spend. And when they have money to spend, it spurs the economy, creating more business, smaller business, and more competition, which helps our economy to go further. But unless you were talking about healthcare, which in that case, it's literally universal healthcare, which 32 of 33 industrial countries on this freaking planet have all figured out except for us, which actually would lower our prices of healthcare to where the average taxpayer would pay a third of the amount that they do on healthcare right now.
Okay. Now my base understanding of universal healthcare and the issues that come with that, however, such as let's say Canada, for example, is that their universal healthcare system, or they have a universal healthcare system implemented. However, because of that, their average wait time to get a damn CT scan is like 6 months to a year.
Well, that's incorrect. I've lived in a country with universal healthcare. I lived in Italy, to be exact. Okay. And that's not true at all. And any Canadian will tell you that's not true. In most countries that have a universal healthcare system, consider the UK, for example, it just goes based off of need, right? The more urgent that you need care, the quicker that you get it. So if you want just like like an x-ray to, I don't know, just see what the inside of your leg looks like, yeah, it might take you a year or so to get that x-ray. If you need it because you broke your bone, you're going to get it right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it seems I had a misunderstanding of that then. Well, thank you for clarifying that then.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing that happens when you go to an ER right now, right? You go to an ER, and guess what? If you're dying and going through heart failure, you're going to get seen first, right? You get triaged, right? And you get seen first. If you're in there because you got the sniffles, then you might be in the ER for a while because you're pretty low on the priority list. All right.
Yeah,
same thing happens with universal healthcare.
Okay. I suppose another topic then that I would support, I do personally agree with this, is the destruction of the Department of Education. Now, not the complete abolishment of it. I don't know if that's what his plan is. I don't support that. I should support a essentially tear down and reform of the Department of Education, because I do believe that our current Department of Education has completely failed us. That was a big reason why I supported Trump.
How has it failed us?
So we are on a drastic decline. We are ranked, I forget the exact number, but it's in like 30th or 40th, I think, percentile of compared to other nations. Are like the textbooks in public schools are completely outdated. The educational system, the things that we are teaching our students, is just completely nonsensical and unnecessary. We are not teaching them fundamental essentials to living, such as how to do your taxes, how to do your finances, things like that. Universal life skills that are not being taught, and instead random aimless BS is being produced through these public schools, such as
okay. So you don't like our education
such
system.
As gender ideology. I mean, that is
gender
not
ideology is not
essential.
gender ideology is not being taught in a curriculum in a single public school in the United States.
Not in public schools.
So I don't know what you're talking about on that. But second of all, how does getting rid of the Department of Education help any of this?
I'm sorry, didn't exactly mean that, but anyway, sorry to interrupt. Continue.
I said, how does getting rid of the Department of Education help any of this?
I believe it needs a reform, not complete abolishment.
What would you like
But
to reform it to?
things that as I said, things that teach essentials, things that students need to learn.
Cool. Better
Yes,
question.
STEM,
Who
mathematics,
controls
and
the
things that we
curriculum
have.
who controls the curriculum of schools?
Will that not be the Department of Education?
That would be correct. It would not be the Department of Education.
What would it be then?
That would be individual states' board of educations.
There
Curriculum is
is-
controlled by individual
okay,
states, not by the federal
That
Department of
is
Education.
partially true.
That is not partially
There-
true.
when-
That is
when-
100% true.
Okay. There is, whenever a teacher is forming a lesson plan, they have to go through, and there are state standards and then there are national standards. So partially, yes, the state, you are correct with the state controlling the education, but there is national standards that every public school has to adhere to, and every public lesson has, or every lesson has to adhere to.
Sir, there is a big difference between the federal government saying, yeah, third grade, your kid should be able to read. Okay? And the state going,
the literacy rates of students are drastically declining.
Yes, sir.
That is just factual.
But you know where they're declining and where they're not?
Inner city schools.
No, they're not declining in Massachusetts. They are declining in Louisiana. They're not declining in California. They are declining in Mississippi.
Why is that?
Because states control their individual curriculum, and state testing and standardized testing comes from the state. And certain states, like blue states specifically, generally, of course it gets mixed up at some points, but generally blue states tend to prioritize education, and the red states don't, and so they don't have good education, so their kids don't know how to read.
Where did you get these statistics, out of curiosity's sake? I'd like to look into that myself.
You'd like to look up the education rates by school? By state?
Yeah, just like I'm curious where you not your state in particular, just like all states overall.
That's
where
fine.
you
I
got
actually just had this
statistics
map
from.
up. I'd like to pull it back. Let's see if I can find that map again. I had a really cool
I'm
map up.
honestly not trying to have a math off or anything like that. I'm genuinely
No, I was just going to pull it
curious
up
where
for everybody to
pull
see
these,
it. But
numbers on.
there was one with a cool map. I liked it. Oh, yeah. Anyways. Yeah, I mean, you could literally pull this up. Like, she's literally, anyway, Population Review has public school rankings by state, shows Alabama is 50th. Arizona's pretty low. I don't remember what this data is coming from, but you can actually see overall public school ranking. With number one, here, I can put this a little up on the screen.
Sorry, I'm not watching your stream.
That's for everybody else. It's not for you. Number one being
Okay.
Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, Washington, Pennsylvania, Vermont, Minnesota, Connecticut, Virginia, Wisconsin, Wyoming, Maryland are the top. Oh, I guess that was like 12 states. And if you go, this one has Arizona, Alabama, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Idaho, West Virginia, Arkansas, Nevada, Indiana, Louisiana, Florida, and Texas, and Mississippi as the bottom 12, with South Carolina right behind that. And that was 2024. But I've seen data showing, well, first of all, Louisiana much lower. But yeah, you can see it. Like, here's a different one with like Massachusetts, Colorado, and Vermont at the top. Oh, this doesn't even go low enough to reach the states I want to go to. I guess they try to cut it off to try to, I don't know, be nice or something. I don't know. I know New Mexico's always really low. Yeah, this one's a fun one. If you look at the bottom for education here, you have West Virginia, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Kentucky, Oklahoma, Nevada, Alabama, Indiana, Tennessee, New Mexico, Alaska. Do you see how most of the ones at the bottom are all red states and most of the ones at the top are all blue states?
Yes.
Yeah, the reason for that is because blue states prioritize education. Okay. And which makes sense, okay? Because if you actually look at the polling data, right, people with higher educations tend to vote more left. People with less education tend to vote more right. All right. So it would make sense that they would prioritize education because the people in the blue states tend to be more educated, so they understand the value of education more. Right? But Oklahoma is like Oklahoma, or I think Mississippi and Oklahoma both did it, who rank like both like bottom like 5 in education. They have this failing education system, and what law are they trying to pass? Oh, let's make sure the 10 commandments are in every class. Right? Not trying to fix their education system. Let's just make sure that they can read enough to, or maybe they don't even need to read the 10 commandments. Maybe we can just put them up on the board and we can tell them what they say, and then people will be able to believe it later. Right? So the Department of Education funds IEPs. They fund schools for disabled kids. They do things like Pell Grants, okay, and they help guide FAFSA, right? They do give certain guidelines for states, again, like, hey, your kid to graduate high school has to know how to read. You know what I'm saying? But like how they get there and what level they get that's all in the state. So if you don't like the curriculum of what's going on in states, or what's going on in the education, that's the state's problem, not the Department of Education's problem, okay? If you don't like the literacy efforts going on in our states, it's a state's issue. It's not a DOE issue. So getting rid of or reforming the DOE, unless you're going to reform the DOE to make it much larger, where it actually does standardize curriculum at a higher level across all states, unless that's what you actually want to do, is actually pull the education system back up to a federal level, then I don't know how you'd want to reform it. You'd have to take a lot of states' curriculums away.
Okay. Those are all very valid and fair points, honestly.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Not to take up too much time, of course. Let's see. One thing I do disagree with personally is the value of religion in education.
Well, our founding fathers disagree with you.
I don't believe so, actually. Our founding fathers were all very much religious, or most of the fact are very much religious.
Yeah, they were religious, and
I
very
can't, of course,
specifically
name them off by name, but
yeah. Religious is okay. They still wrote in the separation of church and state and the freedom of religion in our country. They were very, very clear of that. Okay.
Yes, I absolutely agree. But the separation of church and state does not mean separation of church from the schools.
If the school is ran by the state, it is.
Now, this is actually where I completely disagreed with that previous caller whenever he said the statement that objective reality does not exist. I completely disagree with that. I think objective morality and objective good does exist.
It does not.
I do. Objective good and objective morality are based off of what do you define as good then?
No, just finish off your statement. My good is subjective.
What is to what?
To me.
What do you base your morality on?
What do I base my personal one on? Not doing harm to others and having humanity for people. I base pretty much all of my morality based off of being good to other people and making sure other people are okay.
So let's say murder. Is murder wrong, objectively?
I mean, it depends on your definition of murder. Is it wrong for me to
Killing
defend
of the innocent?
Of the innocent? No, of course not.
Yes, an innocent person, just killing the innocent person.
No, I don't believe that at all.
Okay, so that is objectively morally wrong.
Nope, it's my subjective morality that says that.
So someone else murdering, like let's say Hitler, Adolf Hitler, what he did, he thought what he was doing was morally correct and morally just.
I mean, I don't know that for sure. I don't know what's inside of him. I don't know.
No, he did. He believed that. That's what he believed.
No,
he was doing and killing of mass 6 million people was morally just, and what he was doing was for the betterment of society.
Okay. And
as a human being, objectively, murder is wrong.
Okay.
Flat out.
So do you believe in the death penalty?
The death penalty, yes.
Oh.
Because that's not murder.
Well,
No, that's not murder though, because
hold on,
as
hold
we
on,
define,
hold on.
no, as
hold
we
on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
established this definition at the very beginning,
Has
murder is the killing of innocents. That is not murder.
has every single person that's been executed by the state been actually guilty?
Well, that I'm not sure. I don't have a.
Oh no!
record
I
of
mean,
every-
I don't know how you could not know this answer, right? There have been tons of exonerations of people who have been executed by the state who actually found out to be innocent later. So therefore, the state and your belief in the death penalty is murdering innocent people on state funds.
Okay, yes, and whoever allowed that to go through is wrong and should be put to trial. Yes.
What do you mean put to trial? So the jury should be then be murdered for making a mistake?
Whoever convicted the man, wrongfully convicted this man and was put to death should be tried for murder. Yes, I agree with
Gotcha.
that.
So we should take every single jury that ever convicted somebody based off the evidence and doing their job, and they convicted somebody completely, accidentally or based off of faulty evidence or based off the way that evidence was presented, right? And we should then kill all of them also.
No,
Even though
that's not what I'm saying in the slightest.
Even though it was an accident.
That's not what I'm saying in the slightest. You're twisting my words. So
I'm not twisting your words. I'm twisting your logic.
You are exactly.
I'm twisting your logic. I'm making you look at.
Twisting and
I'm
converted.
Oh no, sir. I'm not perverting it, sir. I'm showing you how literally the death penalty is legal murder. Okay, that's
it's not because they're not innocent.
What it is. Well, who decides who's innocent or not? Who decides who's innocent or not? Is someone innocent or guilty based off of what the law says?
If they have, we are not talking about semantics here. We are talking about definitive murder. This person killed another.
How do I know that definitively?
Proof, evidence. Okay. Visual clarification.
There was evidence of all those people too. There was evidence for all those people that they did it. Yeah.
And they definitively did it. So how do you know they were wrongfully convicted? If there was
there's actually a great documentary.
If there were clear evidence that they did it, how were they wrongfully convicted?
Oh, there's lots of reasons for that. Everything from bad jury pools to corrupt lawyers to just circumstantial evidence of science that we hadn't proven yet.
We're talking about clear, viable evidence that they undeniably did it.
Okay.
See, this is where you're getting into semantics here. Because
you're trying to avoid semantics. You're trying to avoid any. Sir, you're trying to paint.
Not talking about the generalization. I am talking about the broad picture of the death penalty.
Why are you yelling?
I apologize. I'm not trying to yell.
There you go. Good job. Calm down there, bud. You are trying to claim.
Okay, please don't speak to me like that. I'm not a child.
Well, you're yelling and hollering like one. If you stop yelling and hollering like one, I won't treat you like one.
Okay, and this is exactly where you got off with the other person. Instead of arguing or debating like an adult, you're sitting here insulting me.
Sir, I am sitting here talking calmly like an adult. You're the one yelling. I am trying to have a conversation like an adult.
And I apologize, but then you continue to call me a child.
Okay. I mean, if your fifis are hurt, then go on and do whatever you gotta do, bro.
But
if not, I'm going to finish what I was saying. Either way.
Okay, fine. Go ahead.
All right, awesome.
Finish what you were saying.
What you're trying to do is paint this exact path, okay, where nothing outside of it, okay, can possibly happen. But see, here's my point on that, is those little things of all of those things that can happen is what makes, okay, morality subjective, right? Right now, we are arguing the morality of the death penalty, okay? Right now, that is exactly what's happening. All right. And I am showing you ways in which the death penalty is wrong. Okay. And you are showing the ways that you believe it is right. Okay. Both of us wholeheartedly believe that morally we are right. Okay. We are literally proving right now by having this conversation that morality is subjective. Because if it was objective, okay, we would not have a disagreement in this conversation whatsoever.
That's not necessarily true. People disagree with science all the time. I mean, evident by the fact that flat earthers exist.
That's a disagreement on science, okay? That is not a disagreement on morality and subjectivity when it comes to morality.
No, because what that proves is that despite objectivity existing, people will still disagree with it.
Okay.
So
what's your point?
That objective morality exists. But despite objective morality existing, people will still disagree with it and say that it is subjective.
No, morality has just always been subjective. Okay.
It
It has always been
it has
subjective.
not been,
I can name 20 different instances of right now in the United States, okay, where people think that they are doing something that is morally freaking right, and I believe that it is morally reprehensible. Okay. And we have a complete debate in this United States on which one is which. That's the crazy part, is that we can't agree with it, right? Like, there are people right now in the United States that believe sending migrants to Alligator Alcatraz is morally acceptable because they came here. All right. And they broke the law.
But yeah.
Yes. And I believe that putting people in inhumane situations is morally reprehensible, regardless
I
of
completely agree.
whether you can. But America doesn't. So who's morally right? Who is objectively morally right?
I can tell you who's objectively morally right. The people who disdain and are appalled at the fact that other human beings are being treated inhumanely. Whether you agree with Alligator Alcatraz or disagree with its existence at all, what is morally objectively true is the fact that there are people like you and I that agree that those people are being treated inhumanely. Whether we both see, and this is where moral objectivity comes to pass, because you and I are on opposite poles. I mean, however, we both agree that those people being treated inhumanely is morally reprehensible.
Perfect. So you said at the beginning of this live that you are a Trump supporter who still supports Trump. And I believe that the inhumane treatment of those migrants is morally reprehensible. But you believe that you are morally right for still supporting Trump, even though he is doing the thing that you even believe is objectively moral. Right? So you are still supporting a president, a person who is doing something that you believe is objectively immoral, right? So I am now saying that I believe that you are morally reprehensible, okay? Because you are supporting something that even you believe, okay, is objectively immoral. You are saying that the president of the United States is doing something objectively immoral. No, you just said that the inhumane treatment of those migrants is objectively immoral, and you are still supporting him. So therefore, I believe subjectively that you are an immoral person because you are supporting something that you know is absolutely immoral.
Now, here's where we disagree on that matter. Just because I support a president doesn't mean I support absolutely everything he does. That is just like saying people who supported Joe Biden cannot disagree with the fact that the Ukrainian war started or a new war started or whatever. Just because you voted for a president doesn't mean you have to agree with absolutely 100% everything.
Joe Biden did not do anything in my book that was morally reprehensible. And if he did, I would be avidly against him.
So they do one thing and you are avidly against any presidential candidate.
That is morally reprehensible? Absolutely.
Okay, so then you wouldn't vote for any single presidential candidate because every single
What did Biden do that was
politician,
what did Biden do that was morally reprehensible?
Despite besides having plunging us into a massive inflation, the highest inflation since we've seen.
That's financially irresponsible. That's
Carter.
That's financially irresponsible. That's not morally reprehensible.
That's fair.
So what did he do that was morally reprehensible?
Okay. I cannot, for that particular president, I cannot say anything that he has done that has been morally reprehensible. I agree with you on that matter.
Okay. I'm just saying you're saying no president. I'm just saying like that, this is your literal stance right now is showing that morality is subjective. Okay, what you're trying to do, and I have this weird feeling you're trying to push this to some type of religious conversation, okay, on what drives your subjective morals, okay, and you're not doing great at it. I'm just being honest with you, all right. But you showed right there, okay, you showed the subjectivity of your morals because you are able to curb, okay, something that you think is more like objectively immoral, right? Objectively immoral.
If those people are truly being inhumanely treated, yes, it is immoral.
But you are still willing to support him. Okay. You are still willing to support him, which means that your morals are flexible. Okay. Your morals are now flexible because now you are willing to go, well, even though this other thing is happening that I find morally reprehensible, okay, I am willing to step to the side of that thing that is morally reprehensible in order to gain something else, okay? Which means your morals are now flexible, and flexible morals are subjective. Because if your morals were not subjective, then you would not be able to stand by why that thing that is objectively moral happened, and you sure as hell wouldn't be able to support someone, okay, that falls against that objective morality, okay? But you are willing to do that, literally showing that it is subjective, okay? Your ability to do that, okay, to change your mind and to kind of like, you know, move around your morals in order for it to move to this level or to that level or whatever, that shows that they're subjective, okay? We can all come together as a society and agree that certain things are wrong, all right? But that doesn't make morals, that doesn't make morals subjective or objective. It makes them subjective and agreed upon for the betterment of humanity.
What would you have me say to the point then that I think the inhumane treatment of human beings is reprehensible, and I have agreed to that over all terms, like Alligator Alcatraz, I condemn Trump for doing that then. If they are truly being treated inhumanely, then yes.
All right, well, cool. Morals are subjective. We can all go home now.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, I convinced them, guys. We got there. All right, man. Well, I'm going to move on to the next caller. I hope you have a good one. All right.
I hope you do as well. And even if you don't believe, God bless you.
All right. Hail Satan. Appreciate you. All right. Guys, see, I needed that day off yesterday. Now I'm in the zone. Y'all, make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We do this every day but Fridays, so I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Make sure you hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications if you haven't already. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. We're going to hit up a few super chats real quick, and then we're going to move on to the next caller, so I really appreciate you. This one says, why are the IQs different? This is actually from an earlier call that we had. Why are IQs different? IQs are different for a variety of reasons, including, you know, educational systems, nutrition, the safety, war-torn areas, right? All of these things have factors when it comes to actually how we gauge IQ levels in other countries, all right? So there's not just like people just saying race as an ability to judge IQ level is ridiculous. We can actually see the same IQ drops that are different depending on, regardless of race, depending on what financial situation they put them in, what kind of economic situation we put them in, what kind of food situation we put them in, all of that stuff. Did I say hail Satan? Hell yeah. Guys, are you guys new here? Hit that follow button. Yo, can I get a big 666 in the chat? Hail Satan. May the Lord of Darkness come upon you all. 666 in the chat. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. All right. Don said, last caller is an embarrassment. Hello. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Jeremy said, thank you. You made my day. Thank you so much for that. General, thank you so much for the jewels. Just Ghost, thank you so much for the jewels. Man Beast, thank you so much for this 50 something. I don't know what the A stands for, but whatever it's 50 of, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. It said, keep doing what you do, keep spreading truth and hopefully teaching people how much they have been misled by the orange buffoon. They have been lied to and taken advantage of. Hopefully they realize that Trump is a criminal liar. Thank you so much, Man Beast. I really, really appreciate that. Big W's in the chat for Man Beast for the huge 50 Australian dollars. Somebody, I knew by the time I got done, someone was going to tell me what that was. For the 50 Australian, I really, really appreciate that. And hell yeah, from Australia, I really, really appreciate you. From down under over there, I really, really appreciate you. Lovely Goddess, thank you so much for the $2. Said your critique, his logic making him crash out. Yep. Tobin says, holy shit, YouTube fixed it so I can sub on my iPhone. I also saw that sub come in. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for that, Tobin. I really appreciate. They've done a bunch of updates. There's a whole bunch of new stuff coming. I'm trying to keep up. Patrick says, for the big $20 super chat, I really appreciate that. It says, morality requires a mind, thus it is subject to a mind. I feel like I just got some Socrates shit over here. Thank you so much, Patrick. That is freaking awesome. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm going to use that one. They requires a mind, so they are subject to the mind. That is a beautiful thing. I'm going to use that at some point. Thank you so much, Patrick. Big W's in the chat for Patrick for that one. Tobin, thank you so much for the $10. That this dude knows we have serial killers on Earth, right? I bet they thinks murder is okay. Exactly. People have different morality, all right? Kez, thank you so much. Checkmate on the objective morality argument. Nice. Thank you so much, Kez. And Glitch, thank you so much for the 99 cents. We are about to open up these phone lines, get to the next caller. I really, really appreciate that. Big W's in chat for everybody who supported, and an extra big W in chat for Sharon with the huge $50 over on PayPal. Said thank you for all you do. Big W's in chat for Sharon with the big PayPal. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Let's open this up to the next caller. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here and making my day a little better after I had a off day yesterday, off the last second. Oh, I didn't even see the little sticker. Thank you so much. Hello, how are you?
Nigger, 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 big black nigger.
Oh, that actually reminds me. I'm going to have my backup account up. Uh-oh, that's not good. Hello, how are you?
Hey, bro, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How old are you?
Hello?
How old are you?
I'm 36.
Awesome.
Hey, I called before. I talked to you once before.
Okay.
Hung up on me.
I hung up on you? Why'd I do that? I'm sure there was a good reason.
I don't know, but I just want to add on to what the last caller was talking about.
Yeah. Are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah.
Are you Blaga? You're Blaga, aren't you?
Is that racist?
I don't know. Is it?
Yeah, it sounds racist.
How's that racist?
Blaga?
Blaga? Yeah. How's that racist?
Because it is.
Well, I mean, dude, if you're going to tell me something is racist, I need to know how it's racist.
Because you're associating my race with a political affiliation, which is racist, okay?
Are you black?
Doesn't matter?
Well, now that I've asked, yes. Since you're calling me racist, then yes, now it matters.
I mean, you can be racist against any race, technically, right?
That's not what I asked you. I asked if you're black.
But, I mean, doesn't matter because I mean, that's why.
M. Lynch, thank you so much for the super fan. I really appreciate that. Racist. Hey. Are you black?
Again, why does it matter?
Because you called me racist. So either you tell me whether you are or not, or we just end this conversation and I move on with the rest of my day, okay?
Yeah, I'm black.
All right, awesome. Are you MAGA?
Yes.
All right, you're Blaga. I don't know how that's racist. But anyways.
Well, it is. But, okay. That's another point. So you was talking about objective morality, right? You say you don't believe in objective morality.
Correct.
Okay. So do you think it's okay to rape a child?
No.
Okay, so when
I don't believe a lot of things are good. I think morally a lot of things are very, very bad. I think that unaliving someone is bad. That's innocent and didn't deserve it. You know, as far as like not deserve it, but like, you know, outside of protecting yourself or you know, or something like that, protecting your family. I believe that stealing is morally, you know, horrible. I think that, you know, being best friends with Jeffrey Epstein and freaking helping him traffic young girls. I think that's reprehensible and morally wrong. I think that defrauding a children's cancer charity and taking that money and siphoning it into your own pocket, you know, like Donald Trump did in New York, which is why he can't run a charity. I think that's morally reprehensible. I think that sexually assaulting, you know, E. Jean Carroll and being proven of that, I think that's morally reprehensible. I think that. Oh no, I'm sorry. And since you wanted to just do an example of things that I don't find are, you know, I'm all right. Sure. What do you got to say?
Okay, so Eugene Carroll didn't even say she thought it was
I don't care.
irreprehensible. She said she thought it was sick.
Sir. Morals are subjective.
That's objective morality right there.
No, it's not, because again,
Yes,
I
it
believe. See,
Yes,
you
it
just
is.
proved the subjective morality thing wrong. You just said somebody else doesn't believe that it's morally reprehensible, and I do. So therefore, morality is subjective. See?
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So yeah, I mean, you got it right there.
Y'all are making this subjective, like, objective morality argument real easy for me. Just thought I'd let you know that.
Okay.
Do you got anything else, brother?
Nah.
All right, man. Well, I hope you have a wonderful day then, okay?
Okay.
All right. Make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really appreciate that. We're going to move on to the next caller. Young said, I never thought I could have this much fun getting educated. MAGA should try it. Thank you so much, Young Midway. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Phone lines are back open. Let's keep this thing going. Poor Blaga. It's okay. Hello, how are you?
Yo, I'm good. I have a question for you first.
I have a question for you first. How old are you?
I am 33.
Awesome. Hey, M. Lynch, thank you so much for the super fan. I really appreciate that. Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
So that's the question. Do I have to be a caller to support Trump?
No, but you do have to support Trump to be a caller.
Okay, cool. Then I'm going to just give this to somebody else so I can keep laughing at them damn buddy.
All right, man. Have a good one. We're gonna keep this thing going. Please make sure you only call in if you're
insane.
If you support Trump. I'm only trying to have some conversations over here. I appreciate it. Hello, how are you?
Hi, how's it going today?
It's going excellent. How old are you?
I am 24 years old.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
In all honesty, I never truly did support him. It's just more so the fact of personal things in my personal life was deeply affected under the Biden administration. I personally was out on the streets. I did become homeless, and it was very hard for me and my wife to get back up on our feet, but eventually we did. And the main reason why it was so hard was in all honesty just the pandemic, and no president's really to blame for, you know, the aftermath of what happened to the economy during the pandemic. But the main reason why I personally voted for Donald Trump isn't because about his morals or anything like that, because that man has no morals. The main reason why I voted for him, and it's hard for me to even say that because in 2020, I forced, not necessarily forced, but I pretty much had my older brother vote for Joe Biden because I genuinely do feel that Trump is morally just a bad person. He is not a true Christian like I am. And as you were saying, yes, morals are subjective. I 100% agree with that. And the main reason was the economy, essentially, because I do see it in my neighborhood. Personally, I do see it's getting better. Now that I have a job, I have, you know, more money, and I'm hoping this year I'm paying less taxes, and that's pretty much the only reason why I voted for him. But I would just like to see I would just like to have a constructive conversation to somebody who is willing to talk, because I'm bored. But I would love to get your view on what's going on in Gaza right now.
we're funding a genocide.
I agree with that 100%. It is a genocide, and both sides are imprehensible. They're both evil, and they both have committed atrocities. And I personally feel that as soon as the Israeli government and the terrorist organization Hamas is both dissolved, then we can work on true peace in the Middle East. Do you agree with that statement?
I feel like we're definitely not going to have any chance of
course,
peace
but
until then.
Theoretically speaking, though.
So the problem is not, well, Hamas is definitely the problem. Israel's government is definitely the problem. They're both,
100%.
those are both problems. Okay. The problem is that we are not funding Israel to attack Hamas. We are funding Israel to attack the civilian population. We are literally making boards and stuff to figure out what to do, and Israel is starving out the civilian population of that country, and it's horrific. We're bombing hospitals. They're gunning down people on the way to get food and fresh water. Okay, and it is absolutely horrific that $1 of my tax dollars is going to that. I would much rather see many dollars of my tax dollars go to stop that, from stopping Israel from doing what they're doing. And I really do think it's horrific that it's
absolutely
that it's happening
100%
this way.
agree.
But
me personally, I've just seen videos from both sides, because I do not like just following the right-wing media and the left-wing media, because those are both, prone to propaganda when you follow just one side. You have to see from both eyes and both, aisles of the spectrum. At the end of the day, the Democratic Party and Republican Party are both sides, different sides of the same coin, essentially.
You don't, right?
Say that one more time.
Sorry, I just have to get this off real quick, and I feel like we're going to agree on more than we disagree on, so I'm probably not going to do long with this conversation. But I just want to be very clear. People always say, like, oh, you have to watch both sides of the media to... No, you don't. No, you don't at all.
No, you don't. You absolutely 100% agree. You don't have to. It's just me personally. I genuinely do believe in order to know the truth. Yeah.
In order to know the truth, we should watch media or read media that's not on either side. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the correct answer. I can't stand when people are always saying like, oh, like I watch Fox News and CNN, which is, first of all, is a fucking joke.
Oh, no.
Like
Yeah.
That's a fucking joke. Okay. You shouldn't be watching Fox News. You shouldn't be watching CNN. I watch MSNBC every once in a while, like when I'm at the gym or something, for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah.
Okay. And not for fact gathering or evidence gathering whatsoever. But it's fun to watch somebody just like crash on the news or whatever every once in a while, like whatever. But there are so many good news agencies out there that are literally, truly, completely set up to be as non-biased as humanly possible. And do they have maybe slight bias left or right sometimes? Yes, they do. But they do such a good job of staying as neutral as possible, right? Like,
do you mind giving me some of the
Reuters is a great one. AP does an excellent job. BBC is also excellent. If you want to check out something where you do want to see both sides, so that Ground News is also awesome, right? They'll tell you like, hey, this is being reported by the left, this is being reported by the right. Like they'll actually give you like all the data on it. But there's so many ways that you can find news that is not off of either of the sides that you think are trying to push an agenda. Find news that does not push an agenda, or if it does push an agenda, it's a very like slight left or right where you can understand where it's coming from, and the news is doing its best to come from a central. Someone said Midas Touch. Midas Touch is not that.
I definitely will check them out. I usually watch BBC when I'm watching a documentary about animals, but I'll definitely have to check out their news department then. But okay, well, I have one last question, and to follow up on that question about you made a statement how they're starving the Gazans, the Palestinians, my bad, of food and water, but and this could just be propaganda. I'm not sure, which is why I like talking to people and I like getting other people's opinions so I can make a constructive opinion myself. But I did see a bunch of videos released from citizen Israelites that are showing videos of like departments where the food's just sitting there, just rotting, and apparently they're stating that the United Nations aren't coming to help, and I just don't understand how that makes sense. But apparently there is food there. It's just they're not doing shit about it.
There's a shit ton of food there, and it's all outside the borders because Israel won't let it in.
Oh, Jesus, that is horrible.
Yep, there is tons of food by tons of private organizations, by UN-backed organizations, by private charities, there is so much food to get in there, and it is literally rotting outside their borders, and Israel will not let them get that food in there. Which
Now,
makes it even worse.
I got one last question, because I know you have plenty of viewers and you have plenty of people who are probably want to have the same kind of argument, well, hopefully a little more productive than the last guy. But what would be your reaction if somehow, some way, the President of the United States of America were able to strike a deal with the Palestinians and the Israelites?
Good.
Awesome. I love to hear it. Now, I know I just said one last question, but this one's really important. How do you feel about the mass illegal immigration that happened in our country about 3 to 4 years ago?
Yeah, there was a lot of people that showed up due to the destabilization after COVID. It was bad. We needed better immigration policy and better laws. Joe Biden tried to get the better policies and laws passed. Republicans blocked them. They had a bill written by Republicans. Donald Trump blocked them. And I wish we could have done more to help the American people. And I wish the Republican Party wasn't such fucking simps that they bended to Donald Trump's will instead of doing what was right for the American people.
Well, like 90% of them are all over the age of 60. So that's boomer. Those are the boomers, unfortunately. And we're stuck with them until hopefully the next 20 to 45 years. And then we'll take over. But,
we don't have to be. We can just vote them out, right?
No, most definitely. It's just I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it's believed 15 to 25% of the American population is over the age of 65 years old. Those people are never going to change their minds. The grandpas that are sitting in front of their television watching Fox News or CNN, they're never going to change their mind. They've been that way since 1980 when Ronald Reagan beat Walter Mondale or when Bill Clinton won in a landslide. Those mindsets will never going to change. And unfortunately, those make up a large demographic of voters, unfortunately, because just not a lot of young people are voting.
The problem is that old people don't miss an election and young people miss all of them. That's the problem. And we need to friggin' get young people out to actually be voting for their lives and their futures. That's what we actually need to do, is we need to get young people in there and young people out to actually be voting in things like the midterms next year, right? That's important,
Absolutely.
right? That they're voting.
Your local elections are a lot more important than the presidential election, in all honesty. Your local representative is the one that's actually representing you, not the president of the United States. He's just a talking figure, essentially, at the end of the day.
But we have a lot of power within our nation to get rid of these horrible politicians. We just need to do it. But hey, man, I'm going to get off the phone with you. I'm going to move on to the next caller. But I hope you have a wonderful day, all right?
You too, and God bless you, and God bless everything that you do. And I hope the next conversation's as constructive as mine.
All right, man. Hail Satan.
God bless you.
Lovely goddess, thank you so much for the $2. Says you broke his heart. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I broke his brain. Sorry, I said heart. I said heart. I meant brain. Y'all hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I appreciate that. Man Beast, big W's in chat for Man Beast, the 20 Australian over here says, I hope you don't get in trouble for that guy that said slurs really sums up the attitude of these MAGA types. Nothing but brain rot trolls. How do you put this? Not every MAGA is racist, but every racist is MAGA. Shameful. That is the fucking truth. Not every MAGA is racist, but every racist is MAGA. That's for fucking damn sure. Big W's in chat for Man Beast. I really appreciate that. And I don't know how to say your name. Doctor. I still hate him because Trump has single-handedly unified the left in such a way that's never been seen before. We're not unified yet. The left is not unified yet. The left needs to figure out how to message better so that they can get everybody on the same page, because that's the one thing the right is really fucking good at, is getting all their people to say the exact same thing. The amount of people have come up, people that are supposedly intelligent, that have come up on television saying that that the Democrats are trying to get healthcare for illegal immigrants, and they just repeat it. They just repeat it over and over and over. It's just wild. Okay? I guess maybe it's easier to have the same message if you have no conscience. I don't know. But thank you so very much, Doctor. I really, really appreciate that. Y'all, again, if you'd like to support the live, I do have super chats. I like to put them up in between. I'm looking for one more Coral over here on TikTok, so if you'd like to help me out with that. I also do have my pay links in my bio. They're all at Polypolitics, at Polypolitics, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. And please consider becoming a member. We've had a few new members today. I know Tobin's in there. Lane's a new member. I saw, of course, the new super fan over there with M. Lynch. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Hello, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Hello?
Hey, for the record, I'm not MAGA. Nigger.
Hello, how are you? That was actually kind of funny. That guy was like, I don't know if you heard him say, "I'm not MAGA," and then yelled it. What he was literally saying was, I may be racist, but don't associate me with those MAGA people. Like, I might be a racist, but I have standards. Okay? Like... I may be a racist, but but this is just crazy, okay? Yeah, you gotta draw a line someplace. All right, you gotta draw a line someplace. Sorry, it's so stupid. All right, phone lines are open. If you support Trump, we're gonna see if we can get another caller in or two to keep this thing going. At least he has standards, exactly. Well, see, I had a bunch of callers. I think they might have faded away with that last caller. Hopefully we can get somebody in. I think we'll spark it back up in a second. If there's anybody in the guest request, Carol, thank you so much for that Coral. I really appreciate that. I think that last caller might have slowed the flow a little bit. It does that sometimes. I get when somebody's too calm. Hello, how are you?
Hi. So I just want to bring up one point that the last caller had mentioned that you were saying.
Hold
that
on.
You had said
Hold
that
on. Hold on.
the right
Hold
hand ended
on.
up abolishing the bill.
All
and why,
right. Well, I'm going to mute
there's so
you
many
since you're
Mexicans
not
in the country.
responding. Sir, you know what? I would love to hear your point. But you were muted just so I could ask you how old you were, but you didn't want to, let that in. Hello, how are you?
How's it going?
It's going well. How old are you?
I am 24 years old.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
I do. I voted for him this time, and I was actually able to vote for him the last
Yeah, I really don't care. Why do you still support Trump?
So, okay, I'd kind of like to break that down into a couple of small topics. I'm not going to dive super deep into it. I'm just going to talk for a second on economy. Well, and then I'd rather you dive into it further on what might interest you.
It all interests me.
First off,
it's all great.
Economy is doing a lot stronger. It's doing a lot better. Money's being spent a little bit wiser. Border, regardless of what side you're on, border's a problem. It's been a problem. That's something that even we didn't talk super crazy about during the Obama administration, because the Obama administration was actually the start of most of the detention camps. So
yeah, we did. What do you mean we didn't talk? Oh, you didn't talk about it. You were a child, but the rest of us did.
Well, we didn't, Dennis, though. You have to think about that, though.
What are you talking about? The left literally went ape shit. The left lost their minds, was protesting, was completely losing their minds on Obama when they found out what was going on at the border.
Finding out much, much later. But here's the problem. Right after he took over from Bush, borders became an issue, and those weren't even pushed until 2008 elections, when Romney brought it to light more, and then you did have both sides. You had a huge chaos and eruption because
that's not true either. There was an immigration problem under the Bush administration that was very well recognized.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not necessarily diving on that, but my point is, when you're talking about attacking and raising huge giant concern, basically like the protest today, that never started until 2000. Roughly 12, 13. and it's continued to be a problem. But at the same time, there it is.
So what you're saying
another
is
thing-
when the American people found out about what was going on at the southern border, the American people were outraged.
Yes, but the problem
Okay.
was
So now we
half
find
of
out
them
there's a
were outraged
problem
about the
and the
border.
right doesn't care.
No, you're missing what I'm saying.
I
is
obviously am.
There was a problem of multiple breakdowns because when there was starting to have this realization that Obama had implemented other concerns, hang on, I'm going to turn that down. Sorry, it's in the background, but still. But anyway, so Obama in 12 and 13 brought to light a lot of the border,
It's
like
insane.
detainment things, not necessarily the border problems, but detainment. Well, that sparked a lot of rage within the Democratic Party, but also it became a more
It's
hot
insane.
topic, hot button issue with a lot of conservatives because we were seeing, well, we're paying all this tax money into this, but truth be told, it wasn't really being implemented in proper ways.
What-
We
sorry,
had no real
Real quick,
structure in
what's your
place.
point?
What I'm saying is the same things that people are arguing about today, they're blaming Trump purely on when it all got started from the complete reverse party.
No. Obama did it. We all complained heavily and protested and lost our shit because it was happening, because it was a bad thing. And now Trump is doing it, and now we're complaining, we're protesting, and we're losing our shit because it's happening. You see the difference
So,
between, hold on.
let
No,
me ask you a
hold on.
question.
No, hold on. I'm not finished. Okay. See, the difference between the right and the left is consistency. Okay. The left finds it bad regardless of which side is doing it. If the left is doing it, then the left finds it bad. If the right is doing it, then the left finds it bad. We don't change, okay, whether we're outraged by something based on whether someone from the left puts it in place or someone on the right puts it in place. It's what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Okay. And again, I know that because you were a lot younger, and I'm not trying to be down about you about that, you just simply were. Okay. That you probably don't recognize the absolute fury that was coming out of the left to a point where there actually had to be full policy changes by the Obama administration. The Obama administration had to pretty much redo the entire way they were doing immigration detention because the backlash from the left was so intense that it wasn't handleable and it wasn't sustainable. Okay? So let's not pretend like, oh, it's just because of Trump. It's not. It was just the problem.
I'll fairly accept that. I will. So let's kind of circle back to the economy a second, and then maybe we can kind of bounce around on that. The economy absolutely is doing better. I mean, it's unarguable. So
Sweet.
most of the tariffs that they tried to say were going to impact us heavily, they haven't. And they've since a lot been removed. They've done well for us as a country. They've lowered our interest rates. Mortgages in 2020 were just starting to kind of become a problem because, housing was a problem. A lot more people started being uprooted due to COVID. We're talking about people who
I do have to take a pause here real quick.
Oh, sure.
How are tariffs lowering our interest rate? I have to know how you came to that conclusion.
Sure. The way that works is essentially what they teach of all time is basically, manufacturing's demands and purchases in the economy. So people are going to spend more at home, I guess to say, or in America to actually get things from American soil. So that's going to boost companies to pay and continue to pay their American wages and workers what they need to take home. I want to be very clear. I don't want to talk about like minimum wage or
Yeah,
take
can
home
you just get
wage.
to the part
Yet
where
if
your
you
tariffs are
want to, you
affecting the
can.
interest rates? Because first of all, the things you're saying aren't even true and not happening in the United States right now. Okay, I just want you to tell me how
They are.
tariffs are affecting interest rates. Like, you're making a whole bunch of like
Okay,
little
but
like connections. I'm
let me
asking you.
finish. I'm kind of wrapping around this.
Yeah,
I
but
need
I
to
don't.
finish this
I
point.
like no offense. Can we just get from like A to B? I don't need to hit. I don't need to
Okay.
hit
All
14
right,
letters
then
in
we'll get
between
there.
A and B. Can we just get
Okay.
from A to B real quick?
Sure. So A to B, long story short, it's keeping money in America and bringing prices down for imported goods. Therefore, people are spending more money in the economy. As these tariffs fall off and as people are purchasing more and consuming more, the demand is rising. So labor force is going up. Money is being spent. When
And
money is spent,
how?
money is circulated at a faster rate. So therefore, we don't need to print money as much because we have money. We're growing as an economy and as a nation. Therefore, interest rates are going to go down because people have more money to spend. So they're going to need less money. Now, you're obviously going to need a mortgage or a large loan for maybe a brand new car or something like that. But overall, people now, because grocery prices, and that's 100% unarguable, are down, you're going to have extra money to go buy you that $2,000, $3,000 car. Therefore, you're not going to be needing that same loan for buying a different car that might cost more. So interest rates are going to go down based on the demand. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely nothing that you said made sense. It was truly impressive how that made no sense. Okay. So let's start with a few things. Okay. Interest rates don't go down. Okay, based off of anything that you said. And actually, specifically, the Fed said why they were lowering interest rates. It's because our entire economy was stagnating and they needed to spark it. So literally, when the Fed dropped the interest rates, they said it was because of the exact opposite of what you just said. It wasn't because people were spending so much money. It wasn't because the economy was flowing so well. It's because that wasn't happening enough. And when you lower interest rates, okay, what it does is it spurs people to start spending, okay, which is what is necessary when your economy is stagnating. All right. So no, it was not our economy is just everybody's no, you stop. I have a lot that you said wrong. I need to address a lot of points in there, okay? And I'm trying to keep them on track. I'm trying to keep them on track. Okay, so if you could just be quiet while I address a few of them. I know there's no possible way I can get to all of them. All right, so let's just do this real quick, okay? So, none of that is like we did it in order because the economy was stagnating, not because things were being spent at such a fast rate. And actually, specifically, if things were being spent at too fast of a rate, okay, what you would actually be doing is actually raising the interest rate, because raising the interest rate would actually slow down the economy and actually keep it more stable. And that's the job of the Fed, is to actually stabilize it. When the economy is going too fast, it uses interest rates to control it. And when the economy is going too slow, it uses the lowering of interest rates to spark it. And that's specifically what they said. But let's be very, very clear. Manufacturing jobs are down drastically in the United States since Donald Trump took office. Jobs as a whole, we took job loss numbers for the first time in June since we did at the shutdown of COVID. And the job numbers around that job loss month have been abysmal and very low and well below projections. 150,000 jobs a month below projections. All right. So we're not having all of this job creation due to the stacking of the economy. Grocery prices are up about 3%, and all consumer good prices are up about 2.7% since Donald Trump took office. Okay. So which is why we're not having this spur of an economy, because prices are up. Gas prices are up since Donald Trump took office. Okay. And a lot of these things are
right.
I'm not asking your opinion. Cool. Awesome. So all of these prices are up, and our economy is actually hurting very, very badly because of all of those things. Okay. And partially it's because of the tariffs, and partially it's just because, generally bad economic policies. And we haven't even seen the full effect of the tariffs yet. We're going to start seeing the full effects of the economy over the next few months. We've already seen the CFOs of Walmart, of Target, of Amazon, the CEOs, the CFOs, right, that are saying that they are getting to the last part of their ability to maintain prices at the current level based off of tariffs, right? Right now, they're working off of a lot of backstock, and soon, if there's not an adjustment in the tariff costs, we are going to see more of a rise in inflation based off of it. But we're already seeing the inflation rise right now. But none
That's
of the
great.
stuff
I
that
just
you
want to
said
stop
actually
you.
relates
Listen, I'll
anywhere
let
from
you talk. I
tariffs
want to
creating a
you to hear me
lowering
a
of
second.
interest rates. Okay.
So grocery prices, that's actually incorrect. Grocery prices are down currently anywhere from 3.3 to 0.5% in even the highest cost economies. That mentions California, New York, those type of places. Gasoline, you mentioned that is directly down 8.8%. That is down. That is a fact. So those two things that you said are completely
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the
inaccurate.
screen from Donald Trump's Bureau of Labor Statistics, where you can just show
I
that
don't know if
that's
I'm looking at this.
objectively wrong. Yeah. If you look at food at home right now, we're looking at December 2024 of a 1.8%. And as of this month, it's at 2.7% increase. Consumer price index select categories not seasonally adjusted. And then if we move to the seasonally adjusted numbers, which we can do that also, it's actually an even more staggering number, funny enough. So no, grocery prices are up. And this is being reported by Donald Trump's government. So I don't know where you're getting your numbers from.
I'm getting my numbers directly from national averages.
I'm getting mine from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, who just reported these numbers after Donald Trump fired the Biden so-called employee and put his own person in there. These are the numbers
Have you
that
checked
then,
the U.S. energy information
yeah, these are the
and
numbers that
AAA?
they're doing. We can actually look at this chart. This is actually a really great chart if you guys ever just want to like have some fun and look at things like across all items, right? And you can see you can see food, you can see energy, you can actually jump the graphs on top of each other too, right?
Energy is
So
up.
you
I
can
will
actually see
agree with
that
you. Energy is up
electricity. Look at the
because
electricity
Biden's
numbers.
deal he
Look at
signed.
how much electricity has
is up because of the deal
skyrocketed.
he signed, and it's no better. Trump signed a deal in 2016 with Canada, especially for Chicago, Michigan, all of those sort of bordering states, because we were getting power directly from them, and now we have actually eliminated half of those deals in place. Also, going back to energy, let's talk a little bit about oil and the consumption. We shut down half of our fields, our drilling, all of that. That's all consumer product and demand. We're sending our money out of this nation, away from us, and that's raising our prices constantly. So energy prices, based on Donald Trump's plan, if you actually read into it, especially with the Build Back Better bill, we are not going to see a dramatic shift downwards yet. However, within the next year or so, a lot of what's going in place is going to lower energy for some people, especially in rural areas, and like farmers and these agriculturalists who need that energy, and they are dependent on it to produce food and crop for all of us. And that will.
And how's it going to do
grocery
that?
prices as well. What do you mean, how is it going to do that? They're farmers. They produce our food. That's why
I didn't
also
say, is it a
prices are
good
so high in
thing?
grocery
You said
stores.
the Build Back Better plan over years is going to bring price lowering for fuel
Over
prices
the next
over
year.
over the next year, whatever, is going to do it. How's it going to do it?
There's a couple simple ways in doing that. We're
Sure.
going to hit on a couple points really quick. We're going to start drilling and consuming our own oil, and we're going to become energy independent again as a nation compared to what Biden completely wiped out for all of us.
Under the Biden
I don't care
administration,
who
we were
you
the
are.
most energy independent that we had been in 70 years.
That's totally incorrect, because he was the one that shut down majority of our mines, majority of our oil fields, and we were also not allowed to drill. Why do you think the Gulf of America changed its name? Because under Biden, he signed a bill that we were not allowed to drill in the Gulf of America anymore, technically the Gulf of Mexico at that point, for forever. So instead of going through Congress, and yeah, maybe whatever, you can be a Trump person or not and say it's bullshit, yada, yada, yada. We changed the name. All of a sudden, we have new documentation. We're allowed to drill there again, because that is what's going to
So I'm going to
supply
put this
our
up on the
energy to
chat from the
farmers to
EIA.
create food for these
Yeah.
people to buy in
So
grocery stores at lower cost.
I'm going to go ahead and put this EIA statistic up here. Okay, it's like really, really great. Right? So right here in 2021, you guys can see So this is actually you can pull up articles on this, and it's like really fun. You can like look all the way through it, and it's great, right? But you can actually pull up this, which I think is actually pretty awesome, right? And what you see here is we had some energy independence that happened right around some like pretty much even energy independence that happened around Donald Trump's first term, which happened in like 2019, right? And then we saw like a lowering through the Donald Trump administration, which was around COVID, right? And then you see under the Biden administration, you see how that difference, and I want to try to get this on the screen so everybody can see it, right? Because this is some good data, right? It's kind of up here on this corner. But do you see where this orange line, how it freaking separates from the blue line? How there's this like huge
If you're
huge gap.
showing me my thing,
I'm
is
not
really
showing them.
clear.
You're a lost
Okay.
cause. I'm showing them how high our production was
Now,
of oil.
that's not very polite if we're trying to have a polite hand-to-hand conversation here.
All right. Well, that's fine. Anyways, you see how our production went so much higher than our consumption? And how every single year under the Biden administration, we started here in 2021, right? And every single year we got higher and higher and higher, where our production skyrocketed over our consumption of oil. That is what's called energy independent. That's why in 2023, we reached the highest level of energy independence in this country in 70 years. All right. So this whole idea that somehow Donald Trump is going to make us energy independent is a complete joke. All right. Donald Trump or Joe Biden had us at an incredibly high energy independence. Okay. We were consuming so much oil, we were actually able to sell that oil off to other countries, which was actually making the United States money. All right. So I don't know where you're getting your data from whatsoever, but the same data that showed that Donald Trump was energy independent in his first term also shows that Biden was better at it. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Absolutely. I mean, and part of your statistics are right because a lot of stuff got blocked. So for the first 2 years under Trump, we were able to get a lot done. The other two, we got blocked out constantly because we wanted to save and reduce more. So a ton of that stuff that we were trying to accomplish, those were not coming to light. And then they started to work out favorably for the country. And when Biden took over, it left him with great numbers in the beginning, just like you yourself had just mentioned. Towards the end, absolutely not. And if we would have been under those same standards today, we would have seen a skyrocket like no other in utilities, in gasoline. I mean, and listen, this is directly from U.S. statistics that right now,
From
had we
U.S.
been under those same
statistics, what is
guidelines,
U.S. statistics?
well, it's usually group, but it usually can come from a couple different contributors, like you had mentioned, the BTS. It can also come from
The
Energy
BTS?
Information
I think that's a pop
Administration,
band.
Okay. Well, we're just going to continue that since you're not going to acknowledge that at all. But either way, we would have been
Aren't they like
at the height of
Korean pop band or something?
$4. No, dude.
I'm pretty sure BTS is a Korean pop band.
Bureau of Transportation statistics. Anyway, we would have seen a national average of $4.53 a gallon. Okay? We're at $3.18 currently. So we've gone down completely on that with our energy in that sense. Now, power, same thing. Power is going to take
What are you
quite
talking
a bit
about?
of
Energy is
time.
up since Trump took office.
Right, and there's a reason for that. Once again, because half of the stuff that we have been trying to implement is not even going to be implemented until the 2026 election.
Yeah, and that was the
Like,
question
that's
that I
understood.
asked you, was how his plan is going to lower it. That was the
His
whole
plan
point of
is
my question
lowering
when
it
you went off
currently.
telling me how Biden wasn't energy independent. I asked you, you said, if you read his Build Back Better plan, he is going to lower energy costs in about a year. That is what you said. And I asked how. And you went off on something about Biden being non-energy independent. And I want to go back to how his plan's going to fix this later. Because he's already tried to open
Okay.
up new leases for oil companies. Oil companies already told him, yeah, it doesn't make any sense for us to drill anymore. whatsoever. Like, we're doing fine. And any more drilling would actually drive the cost of oil so far down that oil companies wouldn't make money. So there's no reason for us to do that. He sold off our two
Great.
biggest refineries to Saudi Arabia during his first term, right? So we don't even have the ability to refine the oil that we have right now. So what exactly is he
So
going to do?
during that session, starting off, all of these public lands, we're going to start lowering the royalties on them. In that one beautiful big bill, like, he literally defines all of these lands that we have as taxable land. So right now, we lease those to private companies that will drill and get that oil out of the ground on those lands. We charge them a royalty. We charge them a fee, a rent, if you will, for doing that. We've lowered those. When Biden hired them by initially what they were at the end, they would have been double. Also, we're going to be starting to cut some of the outside coal and the outside mining, and we're going to start bringing that back here. We reclassified coal, and we made it so its expansive use can be used in multiple sources in multiple ways without heavier regulation in this country than what currently got imposed on it. Another thing that we're doing, like we've been talking about a ton, the fossil fuels, for oil and ultimately drilling, all of these problems that arise and got put on domestic drilling were taken away, just like how when we changed that name. So those barriers are now being taken down. All of that will not go fully into effect until 2026.
And I already said that
So-
Donald Trump has actually already relieved a lot of those barriers, and the big oil already told him he's not going to use them. First of all, who the fuck is using coal? Like, what is it? Like, is this a steam railroad in the 1910s or something like that? Like, nobody's going back to using coal, okay? Second of all right, he's already relieved those regulations, and the big oil already told them it doesn't make financial sense in order to drill more. These companies are capitalist countries that have bottom lines. They have no will to just lower oil prices unless there is no reason. There is no reason.
35% of the world.
All right. Well, all right. Have your little crash out. I'll just finish my sentence when you're ready. When you're done. Sounds good.
Steel production, same thing. Building these buildings, building these warehouses.
No,
building
I
these
lied. Be
factories.
quiet. Anyways, what I was saying was, okay, there's already these regulations that have already come through. All right. And the oil company is a capitalistic country capitalistic companies who are not just going to lower oil prices and produce more, which is going to cost the oil companies more money to make less money. They're not going to do it. The only way that oil prices would lower is if there was actually like an increase in the supply for some reason. All right. And right now there is no reason to do that. And really the only reason to actually create that huge supply would be if OPEC started drilling at a higher level, and they don't really have a will to do that either, and I don't know why they would. All right.
Okay, so Alaska Northern Slopes project is starting in 2026. They are a part of ConocoPhillips, right? Existing onshore is going to be restarting activity that was directly halted by the Biden administration, and it's going to be picking back up, but activity doesn't start.
Didn't
until
Biden sign off on
2026.
like a record number of freaking oil like leases and stuff too while he was president? I think it was like literally a record number of drilling oil leases were released under the Biden administration. Like just a
those were
ridiculous amount
100%
of
export.
federal land was
Those
like
were
released under the
exports
Biden
only.
administration. I don't know
They
what
were
you're
exports
talking about.
only.
They were exports
They were
only because
exports
they
only.
have to be exports only. Because again, like I told you before, we do not have the ability in this country to refine the oil that we're already producing. All right. Right now, every single gallon of oil that is produced, okay, over the amount that we can refine has to get sent someplace else in order to refine it. All right. So unless we're going to increase the refining capabilities in the United States, it's not going to affect domestic oil production, okay? Because oil
I
drilling
love what
has
you're
nothing
trying
to
to
do.
say,
Oil
but
drilling
you
has nothing to
realize
do
that the
unless we're
US
talking about
is one
oil
of the
production
largest
and the
oil
ability to
refiners in the world.
Yes.
We refine 18. No, not yes, because that literally contradicts. You just said we don't have the capabilities to refine it, and we're refining.
Is Donald Trump going to take our two largest refineries back from Saudi Arabia?
What?
He sold off our 2 largest refineries to Saudi Arabia. I'm just wondering if he's going to take it back.
You realize, so our import.
No, that was just a
and
question, sir.
what they
Sir, you
have
do
on
realize
us
that a lot of the oil that
went
we
down in
refine, we
that.
don't refine U.S. oil, right? You do realize that a lot of our refineries refine other countries' oil. We refine Canadian oil. We refine Saudi oil. There's a ton of refining that goes on in this country that
At
is
this
not
point
anything to do with the
today,
United States oil.
45% of gasoline is refined in the U.S.
Mhm.
In the U.S. Why is that? If we're not doing something with it, we're supposedly not
I
refining.
just answered
things.
your question before you even asked it. That's the funny thing. That's what's really funny is I answered your question before you asked it.
That you didn't answer it at all.
I did though.
You have to break that down then more, because you're completely wrong based on that number alone. That statistic
Sir,
is literally
you have. Did you say 45% of the world's oil is refined in this country? Is that like what you just told me?
no. See, and you're not hearing my arguments out. I've been listening to you, and that's why.
Sir,
I'm
just
able to
answer the
sit here
question.
and
I wouldn't have
correct
been
everything.
asking for clarification
No.
if I thought I heard it right. Stop whining.
45% of gasoline used in cars, small engines, trucks,
In the
stuff
world.
like that. No, in the United States. 45%,
Well, yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
But
If 45% of the
have
oil
a
used
world
in the
barrier
United
in
States, if 45% of the oil that is refined and used in the United States is used in the United States, then where's the other 55%?
that's being traded and exported so we can get a lower cost on our other items coming in. You have to understand that there's other things that we simply cannot do better than some nations.
Yeah, I know he said in the
such
world.
as,
I know he
like,
did.
kerosene
Don't worry
and
about it.
kerosene and jet fuel, that does not come from America hardly at all, unfortunately. So we're going to have to send our product over to them to have it refined, to have it properly handled. But when we have land lock leases with them and we set up proper procedures in this, which Donald Trump has done, when it comes back to our country, it's coming back at a lower cost because they're charging us to import and export things.
Isn't
Under
Donald Trump
Biden, some of-
literally tariffing fuel? He's literally tariffing oil. What are you talking about? It's coming back at a lower cost.
They were tariffing us at a rate in which was, depending on the nation, 3 times what our tariff was. So Donald Trump did raise the tariffs because, once again, that's a fight fire with fire situation, and it worked. It worked because they're not going to pay. Obviously, they need us as much as we need them. They're not going to sit here and bully America. That's why America.
Man, you moved that goalpost so fast, bro. That was impressive.
I mean, it's the truth. That's
No,
why
I'm just
America's
like
first
honestly,
policy worked.
sometimes like you like pivot and move the goalpost so fast, like it's like my brain doesn't have time to quite catch up with it because I'm very like concentrated. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm like really like on a. They like you were like, oh, they're bringing in all this stuff, and I was like, it's so much better now, and I'm like, well, they tariffed it. Well, they're tariffing us so that we keep it here, which means that their prices are higher. So literally within one sentence, you told us we're getting oil from other countries that is cheaper, and we're not getting oil from other countries because it's more expensive. Like literally, that is exactly what you said in
That's what
one
you're hearing.
sentence.
Okay, let me
In
break this
one
down for you
literal
even
sentence.
easier.
No, in one
we
literal.
were paying more for them to get our product there and back than they were paying.
Can you hear me shushing you?
That,
Can you hear me
we're
shushing
having
you?
An adult conversation. I'm
No,
not a
we're
child,
not.
Thank you.
No, we're not.
Either way,
No, we're
we are sending them.
No, we're not.
all
You
of our
literally,
products, and
in
all of
one
our
singular
money is
sentence,
being
made
lost.
2
So we're a fire with fire.
different
and within-
side of things.
Within
Okay,
3 weeks of most of these tariffs, all of these countries back
sir,
down.
you have no idea how Donald Trump
Do
is
you
bringing.
not understand that the trade deficit is at some of the lowest?
Yes,
it's
sir.
been
I
in the last
understand that you want to
25
pivot to
years?
tariffs. I totally understand. Okay, are you ready to be quiet now?
No, that's how we got on this whole conversation.
No,
of
we
how
didn't.
it's gonna
Okay,
help
no,
all
we
around,
didn't.
how these
We're not
tariffs
on
are
any
gonna lower your
conversation
energy costs.
because you are literally saying fucking nothing. Okay, like literally, I
That's
have been
beautiful to
sitting.
curse.
I have been literally sitting here. Okay, listening to you say absolutely fucking nothing for like 10 whole minutes. It
Right,
is
because that's the problem with
impressive,
liberals. You
okay?
don't listen. You
I'm
don't
not a
actually like to
liberal.
understand
I've been
statistics
listening and
and
trying
facts.
to keep, first of all, I'm not a liberal. And second of all, I have been trying to keep up with this nonsense that you're talking about, which is fucking crazy. I asked you a very, very direct question, okay? It was a very direct question, which was, how is Donald Trump going to lower energy costs? You have given me, hold on, shh. You have given me so far oil that he's going to make us energy independent, unlike Biden, which Biden has higher, better energy independent than we'd been in 70 years. Okay, you had him opening up lands, okay, in order to drill, which again, Biden had a record number of federal lands released in order to drill on. Okay, so again, not true. Okay, you said he's going to be pulling us back to coal, okay, by bringing in more coal from other countries, which doesn't even make any fucking sense for what we're talking about. And nobody's reverting back to coal. Okay, it is a very small. I'm still talking.
We never.
All right, I'll just mute you if you can't be quiet while I finish my statement. All right, because I'm getting really tired of hearing your yapping. Okay. You're literally talking about bringing in coal, which doesn't make any sense. And now you have simultaneously said, okay, that he is bringing in other oil from other countries at a faster rate, okay, and made better deals in order for us to get cheaper oil from other countries, while simultaneously saying that we have tariffed all of those other countries' energy in order to make sure that we can have energy back here. Okay, none of which makes a singular piece of sense whatsoever. So let me break down to you the reality of what's really going on. Donald Trump said that we are going to drill, baby, drill, okay, which is a cute little quip, okay, and doesn't really have much to do with shit. Okay, when the reality of the situation is that the price of oil per barrel is not decided by the US president. Okay, it is decided by supply and demand issues strictly across the entire world. Okay, that is what it is decided by. Gas prices are not a presidential stat. They're not. Okay, they are unless there is a direct policy. Unless there is a direct policy by the president that is negotiated, like the OPEC Plus deal under the Trump administration, which specifically limited the amount of oil that was being produced across the world by 10 million barrels a day, which directly affected the global supply of oil, which raised gas prices until the 2023, okay, for the entire world. Unless there is a direct policy like that that affects that all the way across the board, then he's not doing anything. Donald Trump's Build Back Better plan does not lower gas prices. His current big, beautiful bill is raising them, though, okay? By freaking making it where it is more difficult to get products, which is actually causing a rise in gas prices across the United States. His direct policies are causing this. Oil prices are up. Energy prices are up. Grocery prices are up. All freaking consumption of consumer goods is up. Tariffs are raising prices across the United States, period, okay? And Donald Trump is not freaking helping any of that, and he won't continue to, because we're going to see energy prices continue to skyrocket, okay, based off of this big, beautiful bill, okay? And we're already seeing it, okay? So unless you have something better to give me that's actually like an actual policy that is actually going to help a singular thing when it comes to their energy prices, I am just going to go ahead and move on to the next caller, because this is literally a waste of time and space to continue this conversation anymore, and I am just really getting tired of listening to it.
Well, sir, I mean, that is totally your call. There's multiple things in that statement that were untrue. I'm just not going to be able to sit here and argue with you if you're not going to get your facts straight either. I mean, at the end of the day, the tariffs and the total things that have spun around this whole situation have raised costs temporarily. They have for a small amount of time. But through, and this is why I said I'd like to talk about the economy and all of this, through the economy's deals with foreign nations, we are projected to lower energy costs because what we were currently paying them for import and export has gone down since. The tariffs have been taken away since. So now, for America to run on energy dependency, we are producing more of that going into 2026. Conoco, Shell, all of them, the Alaska Project, all of those are going to be taking effect in 2026, lowering energy costs.
Gotcha.
Same
So
with the
your
imports and
stance
exports.
is we put tariffs on that raise them, and then we'll take tariffs off to lower them. Copy. We're gonna put out the fire we
And
started.
it's worked.
Gotcha. Cool. Wait,
It's worked.
the way Donald Trump is going to lower gas prices is by raising gas prices so that he can lower them. Got it. Cool.
Raising the
Makes
prices
sense.
on those nations
Yeah.
while we run off of our own reserve. Now, when that reserve is gone, if we are not established, it can be a testy line, because when our reserves are gone, then our prices could be higher. But at this point in projection, based on those new deals that we've created with other nations, we can now rely on ourselves.
And what nation do we
plus
have a deal
our
with?
imports again. Say that one more time.
What nation do we have a deal with?
We have a deal with several nations, including Russia, on things. That's huge. Right now, have you not read into that deal? That's
We don't
why
have
we're
we don't
trying to
have any
end
type
the
of
war in
finalized.
Ukraine.
We have no
It's
finalized
not
trade deal
finalized,
with
no.
with Russia. What countries do we have a finalized trade deal with?
Currently, we have one with Saudi Arabia. We
Wrong.
have one with China that we're working
Wrong.
out more
No.
details. currently to
Finalized
lower them
deal.
even more.
Finalized deal. What countries?
Dude, I'm just told you them.
Those are you. We do not have a finalized deal with Saudi Arabia. We do not have a finalized deal with Russia. We do not have a finalized deal with China. Those are all incorrect. So what deal do we have a finalized deal with?
How is that not correct? We literally just established another deal with multiple of those countries in the last 2 months.
No, we have not. Okay. We have not. There has been no finalized deal. There is nothing in paper that says what any of our deals are going to be with any of these countries. There are only two actual signed deals that exist with the United States right now. That is the UK and the EU, neither of which we get a significant amount of energy from. Okay? So those are incorrect.
We get it.
So you're
You
telling
know
me,
that we get it from South
so
Korea.
you're telling me,
We also
sir,
get it
we don't have a
from
finalized
China.
deal with South Korea to lower tariffs or drop tariffs. And even the EU deal doesn't remove any tariffs. It keeps a 15% tariff on. Okay? So your
Because
whole
they
thing
have
saying,
not removed
so your
their
whole thing
15%
saying
tariff.
that we have these deals with other countries that are going to remove the tariffs doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. Okay? It's not real. This is all fantasy. Okay? If 90 deals in 90 days, right? We did 2 deals in 180 days. Okay? Neither of which lower tariffs. Okay? We don't, you're literally telling me that we are lowering oil prices because of deals that have not been reached yet. Cool. Well, how about this? That sounds like a great fantasy land. All right? Sounds awesome. All right. I also hope that we solve world hunger and create world peace based off of deals that we haven't created yet. That sounds amazing. I hope that we get all of those things done and we live in this great, just beautiful, perfect world with all of these deals that are just 2 weeks away from getting done. Okay, I really hope that.
we're not gonna
But
get anything
considering
done
Donald
while the
Trump
Schumer
has
shutdown
shown,
goes on.
since Donald Trump has shown that he is not good at making deals, okay, I will not hold my breath. Sound good? But anyways,
Why would we be able to get these done
I am
with
going to
Democrats
I
pulling
am
out?
going to end this call with you, okay? Because it's become ridiculous where we're not talking about anything. You're not talking about anything. So
No,
I'm
I
gonna
would
I'm
stick
gonna
with
move
Weir.
on. I hope you have a wonderful day. Okay.
Well,
All right. Cool. That wasn't a request. Anyways, y'all make sure you hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Yeah, I know, living in a Trumptopia. Patrick, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Says, have you ever been on a live with Justin from DZ? I think it basically dismantled the whole right-wing belief system, and I would enjoy it very much. Are you talking about Deconstruction Zone, Justin? if that's what you're talking about, I love Justin. I've never been on a live with him. But one of like 3 creators on here that like I love to fucking death. Like truly as a person, great fucking person. If that's what you're talking about, I fucking love Justin. Like I say, there's like 3 creators on this app that actually like have my like actual real phone number, and he's one of them. I love Justin to fucking death. And I would love to do some more stuff with him. I know we're both really busy, but he's a great guy. You guys should follow him, Justin Deconstruction Zone. If you like freaking religious stuff, he's absolutely fucking amazing. So make sure you follow him. Lovely Goddess says, wasn't he 7 years old when Obama was president? Oh, you were talking about, yeah, I'm pretty sure he was. Mermaid Ari says, apparently Trump was president in 2016. News to me. Speaking of awesome creators, make sure you follow Ari right here. Mermaid Ari 0 right here. Great. If you like my live, you'll like her live. She goes on about an hour before me every single night. So make sure you're following her too. She's awesome. I may be biased, but she's awesome. HB says, thank you for the $10 super chat. Said demon rats will never win another election because their policies stink. Okay, man. Cool. He also says that host is mad and likes men. Look, first of all, there'd be no, I'm not mad. Okay. But honestly, you're paying me money to say I'm mad and I like men? Are you hitting on me? It seems like you're hitting on me. Laura, thank you so much for becoming a super fan. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I think you're hitting on me, man. I'm taken, but like, I do appreciate the compliment. You know what I'm saying? I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. VJ, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I really appreciate that. And Man Beast with the $50 over here. Big W's in chat for Man Beast over here with the $50. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. He says, I don't want to give them too much credit, but we should remember MAGA are people too. They have reprehensible views, but they have been manipulated and brainwashed. I view them with more pity than anger. We need to combat the hate, not become hateful. I could not agree more. I am not hateful. I know you guys think because I dog walk them or because I make fun of them a little bit. I hate people. I got no hate for anybody. Okay. I do have hate for treating people inhumanely, right? Or for people, treating people like less than people, right? That I do have hate for. But I'm not hateful. I'm direct. I'm a straight up dude. And I'm gonna say what I fucking feel. So, but yeah, they have been a brainwash. They have been manipulated. They have been Donald Trump says he didn't like smart people. Could you imagine a president telling his people that he doesn't think they're smart, and they're like, yes, Daddy Trump. It's wild. But thank you so much. Thank you so much, Man Beast. I really, really do appreciate that. Thank you so much, and I love the kind words. See, even the left even is kind when they're talking shit. See, it's crazy. Huge W's to chat for that. And Spider said, can you talk about China moving from coal to natural and how it worked? What? Can you talk about China moved from coal to natural energy and how it worked better for the North Pole, China? Am I missing something? Thank you so much, Spider. I appreciate it. No idea what that was. What did I said? I have no idea what we're talking about. Y'all, I'm going to end the live. I have been on for about 2.5. I will be back on tomorrow night about 7:30 Central PM. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you're here. Hit that follow button. Hit that subscribe button. I really, really appreciate y'all. Thank you guys so much for being here. I love y'all. All right. Bye.